Good morning, shut-ins.
Yo, 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 yo.
Just had like a little droplet of water fly off my finger when I did that. That was weird.
So,
how's everyone doing this morning? Welcome.
hey, bro.
Sorry to be a couple
Muddy.
of minutes late today, folks.
Jason.
We have a huge show today, though.
Kevin, Jodi, Dan.
From my perspective.
Shout out to our good man.
Who's the good man?
Shout out to our good man, who's our breakfast sponsor today.
Oh.
Believe it or not,
Kevin
he came and did a special delivery.
So this is what I just opened up, literally as I was late starting the show.
Breakfast
and that
sponsor
countdown
today.
was going. That
is Kevin. Hook this up. Mine's all vegetarian, so mine don't look as big.
Mm-hmm. That's right. He gave me 3 kinds of meat in my breakfast.
Shout out to Kevin, man. That was super, super nice of him to hook us up.
Definitely.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate that.
And he got us orange juices. And he got us...
Oh, I didn't even know I had an orange juice. That's cool. I'll have to go get it in a minute.
And he got us... And if anybody can guess what special gift he got us, that can be today's prize.
Wait, you're gonna give away what he gave to us, or you're gonna?
Nah,
they have to guess.
Y'all just gotta guess what it is. It's a special surprise. If anybody can guess what it is by the end of the show.
And what are we gonna give away as the prize, though? What do you want to give away?
I don't know.
You want to give away some infused jam today? I'm sure Avel's cringing because we give away a lot of jam.
Yeah,
should we give away some jam?
She's probably gonna want to fight us pretty soon.
Maybe, but in any case, we're gonna give away some jam today. Everyone loves the jam. Yes, orange juice is good. We have a huge show today, so we're gonna have a little quick stop by Nick the Intern. He's gonna join us in a few minutes, and then we're gonna have Jodi Chapin from Green Nurse on the Grow and Nathan Andrade is on the show today. Little did you know,
Nate, diggity dog.
Nate is from Between the Rows. And then we're going to have Cheryl Benedetti, which is Rehabulous with Nurse Cheryl, with Jani Nelson from Hotel California by the Sea. I can't believe I'm remembering all of this right now well. And then we're going to have Chauncy Spenser come on with Niambi Tosh at the end of the show. And they're going to talk for quite a bit. Which is pretty cool. Like, surprise, Peter Tosh's daughter's on the show today. So everyone needs to stick around for that. Chauncey is coming out swinging. Chauncey is coming out swinging with his first guest. Chauncey, if you're watching,
What's up, Screech?
kudos.
What's up, Screech?
Kudos. Thank you so much for everyone joining in today and watching with us. We really appreciate it. Shout out to Andrew Muddy from Beantown Greentown. He's going to start having a segment on Saturdays. He's gonna start having a segment on Saturdays where he's gonna like teach us how to grow. He's gonna go over cloning, go over all kinds of
Nice.
all kinds of cool stuff.
Hello, Heather. Hey, Lady J. How are you? So today, you guys have to guess what I have. Today, you guys have to guess what I have. What surprise I have. I can give you guys one hint. I'm not going to give it to you right now. But I'll give it to you in a couple minutes. Once I go through the scenario that if I give this hint that y'all can't find out too easy. So I have to go over the scenario in my head multiple times to think of the different answers that I might get. But you guys are welcome to guess now if you want.
So wait, go over this. Go over this with me again. We're giving away infused jam. Surprise, April. It's delicious infused jam. Everyone loves it.
You guys have to figure out what surprise I have.
Surprise, he's chewing. Lots of lovin's. It could be.
Oh, wow.
Shh. Don't. You gotta keep. The contest is gonna run for the entire show. We have such a huge show today.
Wow. I'll donate a 10-pack of seeds, regs.
So we have such a huge show today, and I haven't seen him online, so I'm not sure if he's going to come on. But we also had Koi Pham, who is the comic book artist who does stuff for Marvel and DC. But he's not on, and we have a huge show, and maybe we'll just bring him back on another day. But if he does come on and decides that he wants to come on today, we'll probably be we're gonna end up having like a 3.5-hour show today. By the way, everyone.
Y'all gonna have a 3.5.
Yeah, no, you're gonna be able to take breaks because people are gonna do their own thing for a little while.
I'm gonna have an hour and a half show.
No, like Chauncy and Niambi. Yeah, right. No, but you might have to just come back like later for 5 minutes, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? To help me close out the show or something. No, but like Niambi and Chauncy are gonna talk alone for a while. Cheryl and Jani are gonna talk alone for a while.
Nice.
Nate and Jodi are going to talk alone for a while. It's actually a much shorter show. And if Koi pops on, and it's totally my bad, I started the show and I'm like, oh yeah, today's Wednesday. Koi's coming on. So Koi's not online right now, and that's totally fine because we should just bring him back for another day.
I need some Jodi love.
So Jodi will be coming on.
Lady J said that.
We need to, as much as I would just love to sit here and just eat food.
I can't stay. I have to go out to the CV coronavirus petri dish for my doctor's appointment.
This is going to be really interesting. Let's see. We're going to see if Zoom might crap our stream out. We might be starting. Hey, so folks, everyone who's watching, I'm about to start Zoom, and if the stream ends, you're just gonna have to come back in a minute because that's how I roll apparently. So let's see how this goes.
Are y'all still there?
Wow, it's amazing. Because last time we did this,
Put some love in the comments
it
if
did
you're
not.
still there.
It did, yeah, no, no, they're all there. It's amazing. I was just waiting for this whole thing to just drop, like a wow. Zoom. I'm gonna resume my love affair with Zoom now. I'm down with you guys.
Minute Man Gardens, what's up?
All right, so we're just about to get Nick the intern on. I know he's listening very patiently out in Indonesia, and out in Indonesia.
How you doing? How you doing?
So we'll get Nick in here. I have my inbox is like I don't want to brag. But yeah, my intern's in Indonesia.
What up, Nick?
So far I am enjoying this breakfast.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Much love, Kevin. It is so good.
Gonna get Nick the intern on. Oh, I'm singing now. You're the singer. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. That's your thing. That's not my thing. That's because I had like 2 bites of food. So I guess shout out to our breakfast sponsor. How
The Pothead Diaries. What's up, man?
just waiting on Nick as usual.
Breakfast is an omelet with
Nick
some potatoes.
Nick has now shown up 2 days in a row for the beginning
What
of
up,
the show.
Ruben?
It's
You late?
amazing.
You late, Ruben? What's up, man? Late.
So Sherry, and Joanna, you're asking what's for breakfast, and it's actually
It does look like it, right? That's why I wore it. Heather asked, "Am I returning to the Patriots?"
oh, I didn't even notice. Nice T-shirt. It's pretty sweet. Um, so Nick the intern, we're gonna get him on in just a second here. And Joanna, you're asking what's for breakfast, and it's actually
It does look like it, right? That's why I wore it. Heather.
Nick the intern, do you happen to be ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. Let me get a mic check real quick.
No, there's no mic checks. We're live, dude. This is
Oh.
definitely the second to the last time you're ever going to be on the show. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, dude. I'm just kidding. It's the third to the last time. Nick the intern, welcome. We appreciate you joining us from Indonesia.
I've been trying to figure out how to eat Cheetos with the new system that they put into play. My fingers are protected, but
So
whole-
Nick, turn the volume down on your other stuff. Pretend you've done live stuff before for just a second. Turn down the show. We don't want to hear ourselves like 30 seconds behind. Are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. All right, Nick. So tell you were talking to us about your Cheetos. Tell us about
Yeah,
them.
it's not working out, man. It's just not working out with these new regulations, how you have to wear masks. My fingers are fine from the Cheeto grit, but the whole eating process of the safe Cheeto is not happening. So I was hoping we could get some tips on how we can safely eat Cheetos in public, because the medical community is not working on what we need to really figure out, and that's safe snacking.
Nick, the folks at home are wondering where your neck pillow is.
It got lost. I left it in the sand yesterday after I had cocktails with a couple of monkeys. They have monkeys down here in the temples in Indonesia. And after I ate a bunch of magic mushrooms and I had my venture and I slept on the beach and I found these Cheetos and I got this mask, I went to go look for my pillow so I could take a nap, but my cane was here, but the pillow was not here. So now I have to go find the pillow back in the temple where I left it with these monkeys and figure out what we're going to do next and how to eat safe Cheetos.
Yeah, no. So yeah, we totally hear your struggle. I'm surprised that you could find Cheetos in Indonesia.
It's when you know the guys who knows a guy who might even possibly know a girl, that's when you get the Cheetos in Indonesia.
Well, I'd be careful because in some countries, the not the puffy ones, but the little one, like the hard ones, are illegal. You can be put to death for eating those.
The little crunchy ones.
Yeah, not the puffy ones, the crunchy
Oh,
ones.
so this is safe. This is legal safe snacking according to Dube. Right here. This is Dube.
Only in
safe
Indonesia,
snacking.
though. Only
Only
in
in
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Well, who's gonna be on the show today, guys?
We're really excited because we're gonna have. Did you know Peter Tosh's granddaughter is gonna be on the show?
Who's that?
Peter Tosh.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the fourth to the last day that you're on the show. No, Peter Tosh was a famous reggae artist.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Be careful, your mask is slipping. Be careful.
Oh, is it? I can't tell because my face is numb from all the bananas I've been sniffing or eating. I can't really tell anymore. Down here in Indonesia on day 67 of our quarantine, you know what I'm saying? It's been 67 days since we started this quarantine. Well, at least since I started mine. I was told to quarantine 67 days ago.
Why was that? Why did you quarantine so early?
The government cannot let me release those kinds of information to the public yet. I haven't been cleared, but as you can tell, I'm working with the guy who can get me his same hair color, and I hope that he can get me home because people are trapped abroad right now too. Oh, there goes my mask again from my Cheeto experiment eating process. It's really difficult being a smart person down here. I really can't wait to hear the reggae guy.
Yeah, so by the way, my apologies because Niambi Tosh is Peter Tosh's daughter, not granddaughter. She looks so young, I confused it. I thought that she was his granddaughter. It's my apologies. Somebody corrected me. Chauncy actually corrected me in the. Oh, careful! Your mask is slipping again.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to get real close to the mic for a second. And
why is that?
So I could tell you guys that medical cannabis has really been helping a lot of people with disabilities during this time too down here in Indonesia. And I think that's really cool how cannabis can actually help a lot of people during this time. I wonder if there's some type of jam or some type of contest I could enter to get some free shit so I could get some toast with some medical infused jam. Is there any place that you think that I could do something like that?
Well, actually, on today's show, we're giving away free jam.
No.
Infused jam.
You don't say.
Yeah, Eric, remind us what the contest is so that people can do it. I don't remember. Eric just ate his entire breakfast.
How to taste.
Eric, remind us what the contest is.
You have to guess the surprise I have today.
Oh, what the extra special surprise on top of breakfast was. We got breakfast and they brought something else to us.
Oh yeah,
a gift, something else, a gift. If you,
gift?
all of you out there, if you can guess, Nick, we're back on you by the way, so just be careful about which monkeys you're messing with. So if y'all can guess what the extra surprise on top of breakfast was that we got, mention it in the comments if you guess right. But also, you have to be able to see it, so you're going to have to pay real close attention. And we'll announce it at the end, and if you're around, and if you actually said it, then you can be like, I said that, just in case he misses it. But then we'll have to go back and look. But that's a contest. We'll figure this all out. Okay. So Nick.
What's the weather today out there, Nick?
Well, I mean, like right now it looks like shit, to be honest with you. The weather looks like shit from what I'm looking at in Massachusetts on my laptop. Your weather looks like shit. My weather's fantastic. It's 80 degrees.
Okay.
It's stunning. It's like Southern California. The humidity is not as bad as yesterday, which I'm really happy about because as Massachusetts people knows about swamp ass, in the summer. It's just fucking terrible. Any type of situation where you like perspire too much or you just end up overexerting yourself because of the weather, it's absolutely not good. And I still got some fucking upsetness going on with Dylan Page.
Well,
I kind of feel bad that he didn't want to talk to us because, again, I really think that we can help him out with his reality. Like, I really think that we can help him understand.
and
that,
for people who have no idea what you're talking about one of the people from the Tiger King Netflix show, right?
Yes. So yesterday I brought up to you guys that I reached out to Joe Exotic's husband.
Right, and just to quickly summarize that, he basically said no, and you're very upset. You're in Indonesia. You're trying to land him as a guest remotely, and he's not into it, and it's really upsetting you.
Yeah, actually, I called my therapist about it the other day, and I don't know if Eric, do you have a therapist? Not a physical therapist, but a one for your brain.
I do.
Yeah, see, that's important. It's like flossing your mental ass. You understand? You gotta step up your shit game, and if you got a mental shitty game, you gotta step it up. And Dylan Page can come here and step up his mental shit game, right? Because like he's already.
It seems that that really triggers you, and we're sorry that it does. Nick, we really appreciate you joining us from Indonesia.
Hey, I wouldn't talk too fast or too much with the mask on. You might suffocate.
Yeah.
You really triggered a few nurses in the audience with the Cheetos and the mask and the gloves. So you got some new fans. I'm sure they'll follow you so that they can give you instructions.
Well, I hope I didn't make them angry. Did I make them angry? Are they upset? Do I need to do some sort of like public relations outreach? Do I need to raise like 20 masks to donate to my local like hospital?
Probably.
That would probably help. Nick the intern, Nick, we really appreciate you joining us today, and we hope we get to see you tomorrow. Nick the intern, live from Indonesia. We appreciate you, and we'll talk with you soon. Stay safe.
Don't eat too many coconuts.
Leave me alone, Eric. I'm watching you. Literally, I'm watching you. Like I'm about to watch the computer with you on.
Not anymore, you're not, buddy. Oh, well, not yet. He is going to still watch you on this show, though. That was Nick the intern, live from Indonesia.
Nick.
I'm going to end up spending the entire day eating this plate of food. And I can't really do it now because we got to still talk and stuff.
Shoot, you should be eating. I be eating. I don't know what you talking about. Hey, y'all, this is what you do. I don't play no games. You deliver me food, it's gonna disappear. Shout out to Kevin for making the belly big.
So
not like that. That was kind of weird. I'm talking about getting me full.
Wait, get who full? Get me full? Wait, did you say it? Oh, I'm sure you didn't say that.
You should move this camera and like it's tough.
Yeah, well, you should also join us on any of the other places that we're going live. We'll start going live to Instagram soon. We'll start going. We'll start going live to Instagram soon.
Hell yeah, that play clean.
He did clean that plate off.
Eat.
So we're now gonna have another
so I'm looking for that girl.
Minimum 3 times of the show that the stream might just go.
I need plates.
I'm about to do it
day
again. I'm playing with
fill
fire.
My
people.
belly.
He's singing. Show's done. We'll see you later, folks. Look how happy he gets when he has some food, and you're working out every morning, which I'm sure makes a difference. I think it probably. I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
I work out every day.
Kevin's in the comments. Everyone say thank you to Kevin.
Every day, Shion.
Shia
LaBeouf, Shial.
Here we go. Let's see if Zoom. We're still going. All right. Today might be a good day.
Yeah, big old belly, yo. I'm so full. Seemed like that shit was never ending.
So, by the way, Chauncy, and just because I enjoy using the show as setup time, Chauncy, when you come on, I'll end up making you administrator of the Zoom, so that in case you want to do some screen sharing,
did not get a singing contract.
It'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
Just barking orders at us ladies. Yes, Ava, because I wasn't barking orders. That's just what makes me happy. I'm allowed to express what makes me happy. Who's this Twitch guy? Turk Roach? What's up, my man?
What's up, Turk Roach?
Keep throwing them.
He's throwing
KFC at me, my brother. What I look like to you?
Well, I enjoy KFC. I don't know what you look like, but I enjoy KFC. So somebody on Twitch put in an animated GIF of throwing chicken. Twitch. We get a lot of interesting folks over at Twitch.
Hell yeah, that plate clean, 'cause it was good.
Yeah, Eric ate all his.
Man's breakfast. You damn right, Kevin. How to make Eric and Michael happy.
Yeah, feed us.
Order us away.
Always feed us.
Look, I'm not into the bossing. I'm not into the bossing people around. That's not me. Only if you want it, but that's not me. I just like to chill out, have a good time.
One of the guests today was worried about
Jennifer said
politics.
Jennifer said she got her jams. Skibbity boob da ba doo ba da ba da ba dee bob, yeah.
Did she write that in the comments too? The skibbity doo?
Nah, I just.
Oh, that was just you.
Anybody
you
know that
sound?
Color. Anybody know that?
Color on that. That's cool.
Anybody know that sound? Put in the comments where that's from. You guys know where that's little beat is from. Then your childhood was amazing. I'm gonna be your girl Friday, guys. I don't know if we had put that. I don't know if we put that job offer out there, Ava.
Do you know what a Girl Friday is?
No.
It's a helper, somebody who like does your stuff for you. Like they do important stuff, and you kind of.
He said, "Okay, I have some interesting slides of my time at band camp to share with everybody."
I love it when Chauncey's in the comments.
Tanya said, "We chillin' when I get there, guys. Some year. I'm gonna come on in costume with cigars and cigarettes on a tray in the background. Serve you guys food and blunts." Dang. It's a lot. Come on, Turk Roach. Hey, man.
Hey, Jodi, hold on just a minute.
We'll be talking about
you. So I'm really psyched about breakfast. So everyone who's watching, who's been listening to Eric talk to folks in the chat, welcome if you're watching. We're about to bring on Jodi Chapin from Green Nurse on the Grow.
What a Robert, you late.
With her special guest, Nate the Great Andrade.
Oh my God, we have it, Jodi on.
Nobody can see Jodi yet though. We can just see Jodi.
Oh my God.
And Jodi can't see us, by the way.
Right
Jodi
now.
can't see us.
She
either.
is looking beautiful. Wait till y'all see the shine on her face. Ooh, skibidi dooba dabba dooba dabba dabba dee bob, yeah.
He had so much breakfast today. It's I have never
Nobody
seen him.
know where that came from.
I have never seen
Nobody's put in the car. It's not Adam's Family, Andrew Muddy. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood, it's log. Log. It's better than bad. It's good. Everybody wants a log. You're gonna love it. Log. Come on and get your log. Everybody needs a log.
That's from Ren and Stimpy, in case you were wondering.
Dang, Jen. I bet you that took you a long time to write out. You'd have been mad as heck if we would have never read it.
So there's actually a song. There's actually a song that goes with it. It's log, it's big, it's log.
No, the sound is from SpongeBob. It's from SpongeBob.
No, that song was from Ren and Stimpy.
Super late. I was on the train. I snuck out to do work in an unoccupied apartment. Why would you do that, Robert? Why didn't you stay in the house? Whoa.
So
Robert said, "I'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs."
I didn't give up a year.
I don't know what that
that's
means.
sweet.
I don't know what that means.
All right. So up next we have Jodi Chapin, and from
Roach is a race. Roach is a race.
hold on, we gotta.
He's been doing that. I was laughing the first time. I laughed. The second time, I was like, "All right."
There we go. So what's weird? So folks, we're trying to like grow our audience, so we go out to different places, and apparently, there's people that start watching on Twitch that aren't into black people.
It's
And
just
so-
some people don't like chocolate, and then some people don't like, white chocolate. It's just your preference, I guess, your personal preference. Is that Nate Diggity 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 Dog?
Yeah.
What up, Nate?
I want to.
Ooh, that's my dog.
Okay, so Jodi, are you ready, Jodi? All right.
I'm as ready as I'm ever gonna be.
All right. So on right now, folks.
Hey, Ashley.
On right now, folks, we have Jodi Chapin from Green Nurse on the Grow, and we also have Nathan Andrade. Nate, if you know, Nate Andrade from Between the Rows. So let's bring them on right now. And Jodi, take it away. Take it away, Jodi. Tell us what you're here for. Remind us what Green Nurse on the Grow is all about, and introduce Nate. And let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Good morning, guys. Good morning, shut-ins. Welcome back to Green Nurse on the Grow. I don't know if everybody knows, but I am a nurse. I am a green nurse. I am a cannabis educator. And, what better to do than learn about the plant by growing it at home. I am a novice grower. I can't grow a garden outside, but with help from Nate the Great from Healthy Futures Farm. He has been an amazing educator, and he's helping me with my grow. He helped me finish one of my old grows that I was flipping through, took way too long, and now he helped me start some seedlings. So I would like to bring you in. Last week, we had the seeds that I planted back in March were tall enough. Actually, some were a little too tall. They had like 5 or 6 inches. And I topped those off. They're looking a little sickly right now. I don't know if it's because I've had them in and out of the tent a few different times. I also opened up my flower tent and put 2 plants in my flower tent. One looks good, one not so good. So I'm hoping that Nate has some extra helpful tips for me. I did feed it yesterday, so I'm hoping that maybe over the next couple of days it'll start looking better. But I think without any further ado, I can bring you into the tent. I'm going to have to take you off the mount. But Nate, I am so glad to have you back. All your help has been awesome, and I am so very excited to continue on with this grow and share it with everyone and share your knowledge.
Thank you. Glad to help.
Okay, so I'm going to take this off the mount and put the screen so we can go into my grow. Okay, so let's walk over. So this is my veg tent, And I'll start from back here because Nate, last week you had told me to bring down my light or bring up my plants, and I did a little of both. I put the high pressure sodium lights on a pulley and brought them down some. And then I also put one of my bigger plants up on a flipped upside down paint can, and I put the smaller plants on table. So going into this one, this is that clone that I had taken back in February. It's called Matrix. And I mean, the leaves I think look pretty green. I don't know why it seems as though they're drooping a little bit. I don't know if it's because I just watered them this morning. But this is the one that I accidentally bent. No, I think this one I did do a little. This did bend a little, but I figured that's low stress training, right? Bending it like that, that's okay to expose some of the nodes. And then back here, these are all the ones that I had topped. And it looks like they're definitely growing from those, from those nodes. I can't really see what I'm doing. Sorry, can't see. These right here and back, those are the ones that I just planted on the full moon. So I know those are way too early to do anything to, but it's nice to see that they have cropped up. Can't really see what I'm. This is one that had been really leggy. I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't able to go up. I think I only went up 2 nodes on that one because it got so leggy. Or stretched. Is that what I think that's what happened to it is when I first planted those were the ones that I had the tray on the ground. So they were way too far away from the. And then these I just watered, and I don't know why they're looking droopy either. And they don't look as green as they once had. So I'm not quite sure what's wrong with those. But that is my veg fence. I have my humidifier going. My humidity, I'll bring it up over here. My temp is usually up closer to 80, and my humidity looks like it might be spot on. It's in the green at 41.
What do you think about that humidity, Nate? Are you all right with that?
In my veg tent?
I'd like to see it go a little higher than that, but from what she was working with before, it's definitely going up. That's a good sign. With the solo cups, I would take the one that has the biggest stem, and I would gently squeeze the cup. Yeah, let's go with that big one right there. Squeeze the cup.
Yeah.
Does it feel firm?
Well, it does because I watered it this morning. I mean, it has a really thick stem, but I mean, it feels pretty firm.
Yeah, later today, after we're on camera, I wouldn't do it while you're holding the camera and stuff, but I would take my 2 fingers, and put it on the stem and jostle around the cup with the other hand, and then tip it upside down, and then when it comes out, see how much roots you have. If you have enough roots, then you can advance onto 1 gallon pots.
Okay, yeah, I definitely can't do it while on camera. I can do a lot of things one-handed, but that's not one. Okay. So that one might be my first one to transplant.
Yep.
Was I the only one that heard that?
Typically, it's 3-4 weeks. It all depends on the strain. Some root up faster than others, but once you have enough roots where you can take it out, you can transplant into the next level.
Okay. And then, what about let me see if I can come in close. See how the bottom leaves are really yellow?
Yep. That one is just losing nutrients. Either it's taking more nutrients than the other ones, or you just watered a little bit more and the nutrients have been have left. But it's a sign that it's time for you to start looking at the roots to see if you can transplant them into a 1 gallon or into your final pot, whichever.
Okay. Okay, so that's my veg tent. So transplanting that one and I mean, really, I can't transplant the other ones yet. What did you say to feed the other ones nutrients or no?
You can a little bit, yes.
Okay, the ones that have the yellow leaves?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to go over to my flower tent. So this tent is smaller. This is a 2x4. And I have LED lights in this one as opposed to the high pressure sodium. I have my outtake fan and my fan moving air around. So then here is one that I'm sad it's looking very yellow. It wasn't this, it used to be very green and like it looks more like that one. This one is that clone that I had left for dead and then brought it back to life back in January. So and some of those leaves are actually, now that I'm noticing, are starting to look kind of yellow and variegated, like it has, I don't know. And that one has like yellow tips. What does that mean?
Those are older leaves, so they're going to be a little bit uglier looking, and it has a little bit of nutrient burn on the tips. But I would just take them off. Really, I would just. There's going to be so many more new leaves that come out through the process that I would be defoliating them.
Okay, both of these. I mean, this one. I mean, it's like the majority of the leaves are
It's
yellow.
a big plant. You're gonna just have to keep feeding that one until it starts to green up.
Okay, so since I just fed it yesterday, so it's not due to be fed for another few days, just water. So I'll just be watering it.
Correct.
And hopefully,
it will green up though.
Say that again?
It will turn green again. You just got to keep feeding it and watering it, and it's just a big plant, so it went a while without being fed. So
okay, all right. Now that I have the 2 tents open, so my flower tent has the LEDs for 400, and then the veg tent has the 600 high pressure sodium. Is that all the lighting I need? Because I'm going to spin the camera around. When I was opening up my tent, I actually found that I don't know if these would make any difference, but I have these clip lamps. One has a grow bulb already in it, and then I have 60 and 40 watt LEDs. Like, would that, I've heard that extra lighting sometimes helps with yield. Is that true?
Yeah, I wouldn't use that though. My question is, you're using the LEDs for 12 hours and you're using the high pressure sodium for 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that I'm looking at.
So should it be swapped? Because I actually also have another set of 400s that I'm not using, my LEDs.
Me personally, I would be flowering. I would be flowering under that 600 watt light for only 12 hours because of the amount of electricity that's being used. Like I don't use any big lights for my vegetative state. I just use T5 lighting, which would be something like the LEDs for vegging, and I use the bigger lights for the flowering stage.
So maybe I should just maybe I should switch tents at this point. Maybe I should flip my 2x4, my veg tent, and my 4x4 to a flower.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll totally do that. Because pretty soon I'm going to have more plants that are going to need to be in the flower tent anyway. So I'm going to need more room.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else that you can think of to help me with either one of these? So I mean, I know my chore next is to flip swap the tent. Do you think the amount of lighting is fine? The 400 for the 2x4 and then 600 for the 4x4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks good, and like I said, when you repot those the solo cups, when you repot them into the 1 gallon with a new mixture of soil, they'll be totally different plants in just a few days.
Okay, so maybe it's just that they've utilized all the nutrients that was provided in the soil in the solo cup.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
And maybe when you amend the soils, maybe put a little bit more nutrients, a little bit more of a sprinkle in there.
Okay. Yeah, because I think what I had done, I'm going to bring it down to the soil. This is a 5-gallon jug, and I did 2 tablespoons of the goldstone.
Yeah. I go with a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Yep.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. So I have a project ahead of me before I come on next. So I hope to get these plants in tip-top shape by then. I want you to be proud of me. I'm going to flip the camera now so I can put it back on the mount. Thank you so much, Nate. I know I usually talk to you in between the shows too, because I start freaking out and you're awesome.
You're welcome. I love the help.
And
Okay.
Jodi, Eric, and I are here. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Jodi.
Ooh, Eric singing.
Thank you for coming on.
I love it.
And we'll be, Jodi, we're really psyched that we'll be seeing you every Wednesday and Sunday. Is that right? Or Saturday? Remind me. I'm a jerk.
You tell me.
I think it's Sunday. I thought it was Sundays.
It's supposed to be Sunday, but you tell me.
So every Wednesday and Sunday you can join us when we go live, and Jodi Chapin from Green Nurse on the Grow will be coming on with a special guest. We see a running theme here where it's Nate because he's awesome. And Nate, we appreciate you coming on today. We understand you're hurting today. You're a little injured.
My neck is a little stiff.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sort of looked like a cartoon safe dropped on you.
My dog.
You're like accordion style right now.
Yeah.
I gotta get you
So
to a chiropractor.
just so everyone knows, Nate's a hardcore like produce farmer. So that the dude is like crazy strong. So when you see him like leaning over like that, it's not because Nate has bad posture. It's because Nate's hurting.
Yep.
We appreciate you coming on, and you too, Jodi, and we're so excited to have you on twice a week, Jodi, so that we can follow the development of your grow as it goes along here.
Thank you for having me. It's very exciting. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I can't wait to be back.
Awesome. We love you guys, and we will see you soon. Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, be healthy. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nate and Jodi. Boy, Nate's excited to get
Miss you, man.
out of there.
Yeah.
We're still watching Nate on camera. It's funny, I can't punt him. Oh, there it is, remove. I'll get him out for him so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Jodi Chapin from Green Nurse on the Grow with special guest Nate Andrade, Master Grower from Between the Rows. Really appreciate them coming on. I'm pretty excited too for the next segment, which is going to be coming up in a little bit.
In a little bit.
Which is going to be Rehabulous with Nurse Cheryl.
Rehabulous.
Which is every Wednesday. So every Wednesday, Cheryl Benedetti will have a new guest on to talk about some cool stuff, medical issues. She'll tell you about it. But we're excited. This is her second segment with us. Last week she had on Dr. Mary Clifton.
Dr. Mary Clifton.
I'm surprised my brain remembers names at this point. There's just a lot of names to remember. And I'm not good with names. I'm good with faces. I'm definitely not good with names. So what's going on with the contest? You got any updates?
Nope.
So we did have to kick out one person, right?
Because he was being racist.
Yeah, Twitch seems to...
They hold a bunch of racists.
Twitch seems to bring the racist out in some folks. I don't know. No, I shouldn't say that. That doesn't make sense. It's more that maybe there's some racist people that spend some time on Twitch, and they seem to be finding our show somehow, which is interesting.
Because we got a little vanilla chocolate in it.
That must drive them crazy. That must drive...
Scott said it was D-Live. Don't piss off Twitch.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Twitch folks. It wasn't Twitch. It was this BitTorrent platform where we send our show, and it's supposed to be cool because every day people get free Bitcoins by watching, and then they can give them to us. So my idea was that someday I was going to go back to this site, and they'd be like, "You have $1,000 in Bitcoin just sitting there for a while now." I'm sure it's not going to work out like that.
It could.
But it's called the letter D and Live, in case anyone wants to check it out. It's just like it's a weird platform where apparently you can put up probably just about anything because apparently there's some white power people hanging out over there. Don't let your kids go there unless they're adult children, and then they can make their own decision. So the breakfast that Kevin
y'all still ain't guessed.
It's delicious.
No guesses of what the surprise I got.
The contest today, anyone who's watching, the contest today is to win free infused jam. Shout out to April.
And you gotta guess what surprise I got.
So this morning we were brought breakfast plates
and we
of
was
food,
given a special surprise.
and there was an extra special surprise that was included in there. And if somebody can guess it in the comments,
like
you'll win the
we used
jam.
to buy the cereal and it came with the toy. You always wanted that toy.
No, Dan. So hold on. It's not Twitch. It's not Twitch that was getting those comments. It was. So Derek, thank you for the guess. His guess was it a hat? You're not going to answer because other people. I don't know how this contest works.
You were so close, but yet so far.
Did I?
And I said I was gonna give y'all a hint.
But did we see somebody guess? Because you said, "Uh-oh." Did somebody guess then?
Somebody
maybe.
did, and they know who they are. Oh my God.
But I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know if that person we should let win though, because they've won. They've won so much in life to begin with, but they have won before. That's a hint for all of you. So all of you should start furiously scrolling back in the comments and just copying and pasting everything that everyone has said over again, just in case.
What's the hint? Was it a pipe? Let me see a good hint. Would be.
Nobody needs hints. There's only so many things. It's like, it's smaller. How about this? It's smaller than a bread box.
How you gonna get?
How is somebody going to bring us breakfast? What do you think they're going to bring us? Like a picnic table? Nobody guessed a picnic table yet. It's smaller than a bread basket. That's your. And what would somebody bring? It's right. I see Lady J out there. She's thinking. Oh. Lady J's still. So for anyone that has won and hasn't gotten their stuff, make sure you follow up. Today is a good day to do that. Just in case you haven't gotten your stuff, and we'll help make sure that you're getting your stuff.
Come after us and fight us over some free stuff. Whatever y'all want to do, let us know though.
You should, because you guys put in the time every day to come and watch the show for the free prizes.
We ready.
And you deserve to get those free prizes.
We ready.
Yeah, I know Heather Marie Brown. Definitely know that. Heather Marie Brown is a super fan, and we love her. And she drove quite a distance to bring us some food, which was really, really nice of her. And to pick up her prizes, and then there was miscommunication, and she thought she was picking up all of her prizes, but she was only picking up like a third of the volume. Kevin, this bacon is really good.
The bacon so good. I ain't getting nothing, no. That's cold, Kevin. No, you know I don't eat no meat. Just messing with you.
He probably gave you extra cheese in your omelet.
Shit, that omelet was big. You got my belly hanging.
You guys missed it because it was when Nick the Intern was on.
Jam, make sure you send me a price. Oh, hold on. I'm finna say this for Averill so everybody can hear. If you want to jam, make sure you send me a private message.
Not you.
With your info. Unfortunately, we get poor reception at the farm, so I might miss parts of the show. Get it?
I love the attitude that you put on Averill's voiceover, because you made her seem like a real not impatient, but just like I have no time. I have no time for any. I'm just doing it
because we giving free prizes and we don't want people complaining about free gifts.
Look at how these sausages are still together. That's quality. You don't even eat meat anymore, and I can tell you're like, wow, that's some high quality.
So good
sausage.
Scott said that sounded like Averill.
I don't even know that we really did the normal intro today, but his name is Eric Martin. My name is Mike Dube, and we come to you live every day at 10 a.m.
At 10
Eastern Time. And we go across a bunch of platforms, and we can see everyone's comments. Depending on where you are, you're only going to see the comments from where you're watching, but we can see them all over the place. So please...
Whoa, Lady J.
Please comment in the comments so that we know that you're here. We appreciate you guys being here.
Not doing that.
So we're still waiting for a contest guest. Today we're giving away a free infused jam. I was going to look to see if I had an example.
Thank you, Dan. I try to do my best.
So this is what it looks like, and it's infused, and it's delicious.
I try to do my best impression for her.
And if you guess correctly, you can win that jam. All you need to do is guess. Eric got a special surprise. The one hint we have so far that I gave is that it's smaller than a bread box. And for those of you that don't know what a bread box is...
I stopped eating meat in 2017. And then I started up.
I don't know. I was going to say something rude, but...
I started up again and then got fat, so I stopped again.
You stopped eating meat again, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was fat. I started getting fat, my man.
But look at this bacon.
So I started eating meat, bro. I blow up. It's like literally. Like somebody stuffing a Care Bear. Just doop 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 doop.
If everyone likes watching me,
Next thing you know, I can't see my feet.
after I eat the bacon, slide in my
Lady J, it's a lot of things I do in this world. It's a lot of things. Let me tell you. Like, I done went skydiving. I done some crazy stuff. But one thing I'm not doing is drooling over some meat. I'm not drooling over meat, Lady J. I'm not drooling. Nah, I don't really get excited over eating meat like I used to. Once you stop and you hit that point where you can like stop and you realize that it's all in your head, you don't get as excited anymore. But then some days when you like starving, then you know you might, yeah. No, you drooling over nasty pickled eggs. You right.
Please don't even remind me. So, what was it? It feels like an eternity ago.
It feels like an eternity.
It feels like it was like weeks ago, but apparently it was 2 days ago. On Monday. It was like that was a dark Monday. It was a really dark Monday for me.
Ooh. He's a champ for a reason. It was a genuine question. Wait, what did you ask? Derek? I forgot you did. Eric, you got the meat sweats. Ha ha ha. One word, Whopper. That was because the only reason why you got me is because I was already 2.5 years deep. And so like the temptation took over.
So there's a comment from Lady J, and she's asking where the autocrat is, and
What is that?
so my thing on the screen says that I love coffee milk, and that doesn't mean like coffee with milk. It's basically milk that has flavoring, kind of like chocolate milk, but it's coffee milk, and it's delicious.
It's delicious.
You know that I have it. This might be the only brand ever that I personally like. I love this so much.
Cheryl said, Mike, I need the Zoom link.
I love it.
I'm going to say, Cheryl said, Mike, I need the Zoom link now. I got you, Cheryl. Oh, no. Wait. She didn't say it once. She said it twice. Mike, I need the Zoom link. That's what she said. I got you, Cheryl. Don't worry. We're going to make sure we get this man in line.
So, to both Cheryl and her next guest, you now both have
Who
the Zoom
doesn't
links.
love
There's no real
coffee
rush,
milk?
though. I'm not going to let you in right away. I'm not going to let you in until a few minutes a minute or two from now. Maybe even a couple more. It depends. I mean, they're going on at
Dang.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, back to my. So people outside of southeastern Massachusetts and maybe Rhode Island don't know what coffee milk is, which is why even when I mentioned it to you, you were like, "What's that?" It's delicious stuff. You add it to milk. It's like chocolate milk, but it's coffee. It's sweet already. You don't have to add any sugar, and it's amazing. And
It's amazing.
it's really how kids start drinking coffee at an early age, is with good coffee syrup. Don't buy anything but Autocrat. The rest of them are hot garbage. They really are. All the other brands. There is no. There's no like. Second place is just don't ever go for second place with coffee milk. Just get that one. That's it. And I wish. Like if they would send me a friggin' like hoodie, I would push their stuff every single day for the rest of my life. I'd get an Autocrat tattoo if they paid for it.
It's a New England tradition, she says. For those who don't know, autocrat come to New England.
Yeah, it's amazing
I thought she was
stuff.
saying
It's worth find it
autocorrect.
online and get it shipped to you.
I thought she was saying autocorrect at first. I was like, well, I don't know
No, it's
how
called
he can.
autocrat. Yeah, it's autocrat.
How he can autocorrect
It's
his
got a
words.
little red bird on it, and their slogan is "A swallow will tell you."
Wow, a tattoo. What does
Eh?
that mean, Scott?
I said that I would get an autocrat tattoo, possibly,
Oh,
and apparently,
are you saying that we doing a tattoo for charity? Is that what Scott just said? Is that what he came up with? He said he's doing it for charity?
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
we can, Cheryl. Hold on just a minute for us, because we're live. But Cheryl, you're sideways in the
In
Zoom.
the middle of August.
Well, I thought you told me to put me sideways. Hold on.
No,
I
it's
thought you
okay.
told
You're
me-
you're good. You're good. We're live right now, though, so you're good. We're just gonna let you set up, and then we're gonna go to you.
Okay. I don't know if you can do Zoom.
No, Cheryl. I mean, we're live, so I can't really talk to you right now. But yes. So
Start
up
a
next.
donation for a tattoo.
No, everyone. We don't need to. Nobody needs to start a donation for a Mike tattoo thing. We already did donations
Well,
for
they
Mike
love
disgusting
when
stuff the other day.
They love when Mike
and
got to
there's
do stuff.
no reason for any of that to be happening.
This is why this show is interesting.
No, everyone seems. This show is supposed to be about interesting conversations and bringing awesome people on to do, to talk about really important
I'm
issues.
just giving what the people want.
And instead, everyone wants to watch Mike drink pickled egg juice.
You gotta give the people what they want.
So coming on. Yeah, no, the people. There's like 3 people that want that. Only 4 people donated. It's not like we had a bunch of people donating a couple of dollars. Okay, so because they're both ready, and I think people we need to. I think people at home don't care so much about what we've had to eat, and Cheryl, and before we start, Cheryl, are you able to move closer to the camera?
Not really, no. I usually film like horizontally, so this is about as close as is that better?
That's fine. It'd be nice if the top of your head were a little bit closer to the top of the screen. See how Jani's is like a.
I don't see Jani. Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine. You look great. You both look great. Hi, Jani.
But what if we can get $1,000 for charity?
Jani, can you hear me, Jani? I'm just saying hi. You're not on the screen yet, but can you hear me, Jani? Can Jani hear you, Cheryl? Oh, okay. So Jani, you want to join, quote unquote, join in with computer audio. There's a little button down in the lower right-hand side of your screen when you point at it, and it'll say join audio. It says like audio or a little microphone thing, and you can choose it. So when you were logging in, and Jani, if you have difficulty, you can always exit and rejoin back in when you go. Yeah. This is sweet. Hey, Jani, can you do me a favor and mute the stream that you're watching? Go to the Facebook stream and mute it. I love hearing myself on television. It's horrifying. It's so horrifying. You can, Cheryl, but yours is showing up still portrait. That's okay. We'll fix it some other time. We're good. This is fun. Jani, I just want to make sure we can hear you. Can we hear you? So if it disappeared on you, Jani, Zoom for some reason shrinks down. So look in the upper right hand part of your screen.
So
and there's
Joey
a little
P?
tiny thing floating around.
Joey.
And you can point on it, and then you can
Long
say
time no
expand.
talk, my brother.
Zoom's a real pain in the butt. For everyone who's going to be a
Heather, we
guest on the
will be
show, don't
soon.
ever minimize Zoom. Don't hit the minimize button because then Zoom like disappears to a little tiny thing on the screen. It's really tough to find. Did you get it back, Jani? All right. Well, we'll give you a couple more minutes. No rush. I don't mind talking about my breakfast. Apparently, everyone's really actually what everyone is really interested in is no, Heather Marie Brown. Yeah, we can hear both of them. Don't worry, the interview hasn't started yet. It's more that we're just letting the two ladies actually set up and figure their stuff out before we start.
In the
It's
house.
like sort of like a fun behind the scenes view. I can show you
aren't
them.
We, all
We can
in
see
the
them.
house?
We can see them. We just haven't switched yet. That's all.
Bored as heck.
Who's saying
What
who's
you be
bored?
playing?
Yes.
Listening to me, can you tell me what it is that you want me to do? Because I had myself all set up before.
You're no, you're so everyone can hear what you're saying on air.
I know.
Okay. You're fine. You're good. I think you're both good. I'm just
In
waiting
the
for both of
house.
you to be ready and then I'll introduce you and then we can go ahead and then it's going to be awesome. You're right. Hi Jani, it's nice to see you. I know you can't see me, but I can see you. I'm-
Hey Jani, how are you? Here's Cheryl.
Mhm.
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to have you today. Like in a big, big way, mostly for self-retreat. But
This is fun.
I'm so excited to have you on. I'm super happy to be here. So Jani, for all my viewers.
No, hold on. You're not live yet. I haven't introduced you yet.
Oh, okay.
I was just waiting for you guys to be ready and then like I said, then I was going to introduce you and then you can go live. Are you But you're ready now, right?
Jimmy, I've been ready for 10 minutes.
All right. Awesome. So because we're gonna cut chunks up, so this way you and Jani have this as a separate clip to share out. It's not just the whole show, right? So this way, yeah. And so I just want, I'm letting you guys get ready so that we can actually start in earnest, and then you can do your thing. I didn't want it to be messy on you. This way you have like a nice clean segment.
Well, that's cool.
All right. So up next we have Cheryl Benedetti with. Do you remember the name of the show? It's Rehabulous.
Rehabulous.
With Nurse Cheryl.
With Nurse Cheryl.
This is her second episode, and today she's going to bring on Jani Nelson, who is the Court Services Program Manager at the Hotel California by the Sea, which sounds really cool. And we're going to bring them on live right now. Ladies, we're switching to you, and please take it away.
All right. Good morning. Jani, how are you doing?
Great, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm really happy to have you on in this light of quarantine and technical difficulties. So I love the name of your facility, by the way. That is really, really cool.
Thank you.
Around here, they're called like Serenity House, Peace House. So I think that's an awesome name.
We have Serenity House and Hope House,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff too. But yes, it's a great name. I get a little bit of pushback in court.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's there's DAs and judges that think it sounds like not punitive enough, but we don't
gosh,
to be punitive, right?
Right. Especially when people are sick and needing to get help. But can you tell us a little bit about your facility and the type of role that you play there for people who might not be familiar with recovery?
Sure. So we're a California state licensed treatment facility that offers all levels of care from detox on down through residential, PHP, IOP, and outpatient and aftercare as well. We do have locations in Bellevue, Washington, Cincinnati, Ohio, and just recently St. Louis, Missouri as well. Newport Beach, where I am, is our flagship company, our flagship office, and this is where it all started. Our owner, Carl Mosen, has been legitimately really started the very first treatment facility in Orange County. It was Sober Living by the Sea, and he's the one who instilled long-term treatment and what we believe in, and treatment with dignity is something we like to say here. So he's been around really since the 80s. He did start Sober Living by the Sea, and ended up selling that off, and then opening Hotel California by the Sea, and restarting the beautiful idea that he started in the first place. I got into treatment. I'm sober myself. And I got into working in treatment about 10 years ago. And through, God kind of doing for me what I couldn't do for myself, I ended up doing court services. And I had been working in alternative sentencing for a while in Hotel California, and I'll try to keep this super brief. Hotel California by the Sea approached me for a position. And I wasn't interested. I was super happy in my little outpatient with the ankle monitoring bracelet and the drug. And I just wasn't interested. I don't know how many viewers out there have heard of treatment in California. It can be corrupt. And there's articles all over the place called Rehab Riviera. So I had no desire. And they were persistent. And I came and toured multiple times. I met their president, Kevin Mello, who's a wonderful man. Our vice president, Brian Burke, who I work closely with every day, and he's amazing. And I still said no. I just wasn't interested. And I came back again, and I toured, and I met clients, and I met staff. And I've really honestly never seen anything like it. They do things right. They do things by the book. I take sobriety very seriously. My life was a disaster multiple times before I finally got sober. So I refuse to work for a company that doesn't take that seriously and put clients first. And they do every day. I've been here for 1.5 years now. And every single day I witness them putting clients first. Like I almost get a little emotional talking about it because I'm still proud to say I work here.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what you're doing. I was reading up on your center last night, and a lot of the reviews from patients are amazing and heartfelt. And I think for people who haven't been through recovery or who have not been through a detox process, I'm pretty open about mine. People know that I'm sober as well. And that's the priority in my life, because if I don't keep my sobriety as like that top priority, nothing else works. But can you share with people how it emotionally affects you sometimes when you're working with clients? Like, is it helpful for you to have a background, to have an addiction history in your past when you're working with clients or patients, and can that be emotionally hard for you at times?
I guess sometimes it can be emotionally hard, but I feel like the positive of it definitely outweighs the negative.
Yeah.
I think that people who are in recovery make the best people working in recovery. Sometimes people come in and they're guarded and they've been isolated and socially lacking, and they don't think that you understand what's going on with, especially somebody like me who's in the courts every day, and I was in the courts every day.
Yeah.
But I wear a suit, and they look at me and they don't think that I was a person who got a DUI in 2003 with my 4-year-old in the car and was in jail pounding on the door saying, "You don't know who I am," which is hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't know who I am. I don't deserve to be here. And continued to drink after that. And somebody who was sent home from the hospital to die by my doctors with my family because they couldn't help me, recovered and drank again after that. And had my child removed from my care in 2003. So when you let the clients know that, it's magical. I mean, we say magic around here a lot because it is the magic of Hotel California by the Sea. There is no more apropos word. But yes, I think that my history, as tainted as it is, benefits selfishly me, with clients. Because I get to share my story with them and try to give them some hope. But I think they feel like you get it when you've been in their shoes.
Yeah, definitely. I find that too. There is a magic. It heals us at the same time as it's healing them. in sharing your story, sometimes people don't understand when they see us sharing our stories. They may think that it's an attention-seeking thing that we're doing, but it's really not. It's really a healing thing. It's owning who we are, and our stories help everybody else. So, and I found that too when I first came into detox. I was just that way. I was that person looking at these really put together women saying, I'm never going to look like that again. I am like, that's hopeless for me now. That's who I used to be, but that's not happening for me ever. And within such a short period of time, like, it's amazing how quickly it comes back to you once you follow the programs.
Right. It never ceases to amaze me. They talk about it, and I got sober in the halls of AA, and I went through treatment a couple of times. I mean, my relapse history is not a pretty one either. But God does for us what we can't do for ourselves, and the gifts of Alcoholics Anonymous. And, I'm not here to push AA on anyone. It's not for everyone, but I particularly got sober there, and I think it's the greatest fellowship in the world personally. But, not everything.
You have to find what works for you. And like me, I too got sober in the halls of AA, and I'm not ashamed to say it. But it was part of like a whole big thing for me. Like I had outpatient, I had a good detox program. You have to try everything and anything until you see what works for you best, because everybody gets sober in a different way. But I always love connecting with other people in recovery, because we all have that common bond. No matter how you get sober, we all have very similar ways that we think and emotional processes that we go through. So that's why I started this program, because I really want people to see that you can have hope no matter how hopeless you are or how far down you've gone, and you can go on to work in a career too. A lot of us, people don't realize, a lot of us go on. I see so many people recover and then change careers. They go back to school and then they start working in areas of recovery and detox, because we become so passionate about it. And
Exactly.
And clearly from meeting you and talking with you, you are too. So one of the things I wanted to ask you today, especially with this COVID-19 crisis, you mentioned relapse. Relapse is part of my story too. Relapse is a huge concern for all of us who are patients in recovery and who also work in recovery right now. How has this COVID crisis affected you, and what sorts of things has your facility had to do to adapt, to this challenge that we're facing?
Right. So we saw this coming down the pike a little bit before the governor actually put his orders out that we were basically on lockdown. I'm really proud of the company and how they handled the situation. We immediately removed, and it's unfortunate, and clients sometimes aren't happy about it, but we immediately remove for clients who are further along in care. We believe in long-term treatment here. So if you're able to stay for a few months and slowly transition out of treatment, you through various stages, you get more freedoms. And there's clients who are allowed 4-hour passes. There's clients who request, given how compliant they've been in treatment, overnight deviations. And unfortunately, those are a thing of the past right now. Right. So we put that into place immediately. We immediately started working with telehealth. So our therapists and our case managers are meeting with our clients through telehealth. We have groups through Zoom. Yep. And it's different and it's frustrating.
Yes. As you saw with us in the beginning. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's positives to everything if you look at it that way. And if you're going to be in treatment, might as well be in treatment now when everybody else is stuck at home too.
Right.
I mean, there's the positive in that part of it, but also if you can learn to process through what's happening right now, and even if you're resentful because you're not allowed to go out to that restaurant anymore or go on a 4-hour pass with your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your significant other, if you can process through that, then that's indicative of you being successful in recovery after this. But if you're going to harbor resentments and not get anything out of the programming that is still being offered to you, then you might want to take a look at that. So some of the things that we've done, we've also changed around our testing a little bit. We do groups, color-coded groups at this point.
Oh, good.
Our biggest concern is basically keeping our clients safe and keeping the community safe. It's been difficult, but adversity builds character, right? And I think how we face adversity tells a lot about us. And our facility, I think, has handled this magnificently, as much as possible in a time like this. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
No, neither have I. My background is in nursing, and I've had to shift gears from recovery, and now I'm on the front lines back in critical care. And just for a temporary time, I will go back to recovery soon. I've never seen anything like this. But I'm just thankful, like you said, that if this were to happen, that this happened in a time where we have this technology that we can reach out and still communicate with each other. Because I can't imagine 20 years ago, if this were to happen, the amount of relapses we would see. I mean, how would we be able to see our patients, or how would we be able to see people in our recovery groups to see physically that they're okay, or to have some sort of human contact? Because for people who don't know, yes, we love resentments. Alcoholics and addicts, we love our resentments too. I baby mine. So that is something that you guys, if you viewers don't know, we work through. And something like this, a fearful, anxious time, because not just us, all of us now in the world are fearful and anxious. Fear and anxiety are such huge things that can lead to relapse, as well as isolation. So this is kind of like the perfect storm for a relapse. So I'm thankful for Zoom. As much as it annoys the crap out of me, I'm thankful that it exists, because to some way, we can still hold meetings. And I've seen groups, not that I'm advocating this, but they're doing parking lot meetings, and they're very cautious about how they're doing it. They keep it to groups of 6 or 7 or less, and they stand 6-7 feet apart. And in some areas, I've seen first, firehouses providing that safe area for them to do so, and keeping an eye out and making sure that everyone is practicing, safely. So I appreciate that too. We've just had to be really creative and
exactly
how we overcome it. Do you have any specific, concerns? Are you guys seeing an increase in relapses in your area, or are you worried about your patient? Are not your patients, but people you work with? Is there anything that you're afraid of from this?
Well, I'm definitely worried about clients who, we have people who have moved through the treatment process, and we're doing outpatient programming from home. And, that's become very different, obviously, during this time period. I just think I'm basically worried about people in recovery on the whole, because I know my biggest enemy was isolation. And I think that you just have to get really active in your recovery and proactive and get into those Zoom meetings. I think that this is concerning for the country. I've seen multiple times, people on Facebook and they poke fun at it, but they sometimes don't realize how serious it is. Oh, I stocked up on my alcohol for the next 3 weeks just in case, went through it, in 48 hours.
Right.
And while that's, I see that, it takes a lot to offend me. But there's also a serious note to that. There's people. There was a while back, I would have been the person who bought enough alcohol to get me through a week, and it would have gotten me through maybe 36 hours.
Right.
And especially during these times when you're panicked and you don't know what's happening. And I think that fear of the unknown, when you don't know when these orders are going to be lifted, when we're going to be able to go out again, I think it can be conducive to hopelessness.
Yeah, definitely. But just so people know that there is hope out there, what would you say to somebody right now who, because I've had a lot of people reaching out to me actually in the past few days, asking for help. are asking me to place them in help, which I think is unusual during this type of time, but I was grateful that they reached out, and I think it's amazing. What would you tell people what steps should they take right now if you're at home on social isolation or quarantine? If you feel that you've relapsed or you feel that you've come to the conclusion that you do have a problem that's greater than you, what steps should they take right now in order to get themselves some help?
Well, I think that if they're thinking about going into treatment, I think that they should call a professional and get themselves into treatment. I mean, we are still accepting clients. We have a pre-assessment that has a pretty rigorous COVID-19 screening. If you, I think that you would either need to definitely reach out to a treatment facility in your area, or not even in your area. We still have people flying in.
Yes.
I'm not saying that you need to get on a plane.
Yeah.
Certainly not asking you to jeopardize your health if that's how you feel. But it's very serious. And if you're sitting home and drinking, I think you're going to be a lot safer getting on a plane and getting yourself to treatment than sitting at home drinking yourself to death. I think that if you have a fear of that, I think you need to get yourself into a Zoom AA meeting. I think you need to reach out to a mental health professional. I think you need to do whatever it takes to get yourself active in some sort of recovery. And if you need to get into treatment, you need to get into treatment, COVID-19 or not. I think you're probably safer in treatment right now, at least at a facility like ours. I mean, obviously, I'm a big believer in our facility. I think you're going to be safer there than you are isolating at home.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that up and saying that, because a lot of people aren't realizing that there is still treatment available and that there are open beds. In fact, I almost feel in our area that we have probably more open beds than we normally do on an average, because the fear of the virus is keeping people from going in, and a lot of people got discharged. So there are open beds available to you if you need it. The only thing I want to say to people is do not go into the ER. Don't go walking into your local emergency room looking for placement. Yes, if you come in, we can certainly help you, and we have done that with people. But the best thing to do would be to call the triage number to your local hospital or your primary care physician, something like that, or your local AA area or NA or any other outpatient group can give you a list of information and phone numbers that you can call for facilities like Jani's or for mine, or, up here we have Recovery Centers of America. That's our biggest facility. And they are still placing people too. So just so people are aware of that, there is help if you need it. And let's say you haven't gone down this road before, it doesn't matter. And these facilities will keep you safe. Like Jani is saying, they have strict safety protocol in place, just like a standard hospital does, for screening.
Absolutely. A screening process. And before you come into our facility, before things got really crazy, I picked up a client was dropped off here at our corporate office. I still come in and work during the day because I meet with our court services clients through Zoom or Doxy. And I have a child at home, 14-year-old who's doing distance learning, and my son is now out of the Marine Corps. He's home too, so I don't want to break anyone's confidentiality. I'm isolated here, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I do come into work every day, but we did have a client that was dropped off, and I gave her a ride over to. She was very scared, so I felt comfortable giving her a ride over and trying to keep her mind at ease during this scary time. I watched the process. When a client comes in, they go in through a specific door, and everything in their belongings is searched and sanitized. And they immediately go into the shower. And it is what it is. It's a little different, but we're keeping everybody safe. So if you even have an inkling that you need treatment, reach out, because there's facilities out there doing the right thing and keeping you safe.
Yeah, definitely. And for people who've been asking me about relapse prevention and asking me, what I do to keep myself grounded during this time, especially with being a frontline worker and mitigating.
I remember last night we couldn't even discuss this show because you were on the front lines.
Yeah. And people ask me a lot what I do to keep my sobriety going during this time. So for me, I always say, or just help with anxiety in general, is I've been journaling because the Massachusetts Nurses Association asked all of us to keep a journal, to keep like a historical record of this time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But for me, it's not really so much a historical exercise. It's a gratitude journal. I try to find things every day that I'm grateful for, and I write them out. So as I've had guests come onto this show, I like to ask them during this time of quarantine, is there a ritual that you do every day, or is there something that you like to do every day that keeps you grounded and keeps you in a positive mind frame?
Mm-hmm.
Like something that you look forward to doing every day, or just gives you some comfort.
Right. And definitely it's going to be different for all people. I love the idea of journaling. I keep a journal. As a matter of fact, I keep my little trusty Hotel California journal with me at all times. And I take notes down during the day. I reflect on them at the end of the day. I think it's going to be something to really reflect on when we finally get through this.
Yeah.
I take a moment every morning, something that I learned in the halls of AA in the very beginning. I take a moment every morning and I just focus on, my higher power, which I'm a person who believes in God. And I thank him every day for what he's given me, for putting me in the position that I'm in to help people. I'm a big prayer.
Yeah.
It gives me comfort. It makes my soul happy. And then I get to connect with our clients every day. I connect somehow. That's my calling back there, Lindsay Gass.
Yeah. Hi, Lindsay.
Our offices are separate, by the way. But anyways, I do journal. I do pray every morning and every night. I thank God every day for giving me another day and letting me help people. And I also connect with a sober person every day. That I think is going to be my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah.
I have my sponsor, my original sponsor from 17 years ago, who I was able to reconnect with, and we talk every day. And I lived in a different county at the time when she was my sponsor, but I think you need to reach out, like they tell us in the beginning when we're first sober, right? Reach out to a sober person every day. It's more important than anything right now.
I think that's so important because it's somebody else who knows how you think and knows when you might be getting into trouble, when you can't recognize it yourself. That's such a powerful tip for everybody.
Hold yourself accountable to talk to one sober person or a mental health professional every day if you can.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to slip into that. I mean, I think you and I both know that.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think that if you have the ability, get into a Zoom meeting. There's downsides to it. I know I crave social interaction with people. I'm an extrovert, and this has been a difficult time for me. But I think if you get into a Zoom meeting, the positive of it is that we're doing Zoom meetings here, and there was a gentleman from Iceland in that meeting a few weeks ago, and
wow,
that's awesome. That's pretty awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, you have the ability to connect to people you would have never connected before.
Yeah,
so
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. It's almost like an AA or outpatient recovery conference, online. Like usually we pay money for that to have that experience. So that's cool.
Exactly. So look up your local AA chapter and find a Zoom meeting. For sure. I mean, you don't even, and the beautiful thing about it is if you don't want to turn on your video, I think you should, but if you don't want to turn on your video, you don't have to. You can sit there and listen and maybe get a little.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, and for my people who follow me, that's a wonderful idea. And thank you, Jani, for reminding me. I will definitely post a list of like our online local Zoom meetings that we've been holding too, because some of them are really good and they're people I trust, so I can vouch for their trustworthiness. And kindness and compassion. And so I'll
Yeah.
I'll share those. Thank you for reminding me.
I did read an article recently that Zoom has really upped their security too.
Yes,
So I know
definitely.
there was a concern in the beginning that people were hacking into Zoom meetings, and they really acted fast on that. So I think it's much more confidential and safer now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if you don't feel comfortable doing Zoom, people have told me, oh, I don't want to do that. I tell them then, use your phone tree. The phone tree you got in Detox or Recovery. We have a phone tree that we get, in the first day when people write their names and numbers down in the book, you can go through and call every number. You will find somebody within minutes. Another sober alcoholic will call back.
And if you've been in treatment before, and I mean, so we love our alumni. If you've been in treatment before, I guarantee you can call one of us here or whatever facility you've been to, and we would be happy to talk to you. Even if you haven't relapsed and you just need some interaction with someone,
right?
Just maybe to get through the day, call us.
Yeah.
We're happy to talk to you. We're not. We pride ourselves on our alumni and working with them. And even, I mean, when people call I answer our admissions line. When people call our vice president, that's how much we care. Our vice president answers our admissions line.
Wow.
I've seen him. He's been known to leave his house in the middle of the night to go pick someone up to help them. That's the kind of people I work for here. I get emotional talking about it because it's such a gift. I just God gave me this gift of working in this facility with these people who are just amazing. But I will pick up the phone and talk to you. If your insurance doesn't work out with us, we're going to give you referral sources. We will find you a place and we'll talk you through it.
So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I wish more places would be like that. I'm fortunate to be in one.
Facility is like that. Just from meeting you, I would imagine you're the exact same way.
Oh yeah. We're in a smaller facility where I am, which is actually in the same parking lot as our community hospital. Mike, I'm not sure if Eric's been there, but Michael's been there. Mike Dube's come to see, just to see what a meeting is like and see what we're like. To give support to me actually when I was getting one of my chips, my medallions. So because we're longtime friends and I love our little facility. It might look little, but we have so many amazing staff members there and people in the community who come in and volunteer their time. And that was what I was looking for, same as you, is how do these people treat each other? How are they treating their patients? And the thing for me that stood out was a lot of our patients, like a lot of the people who come in and do what's called speaking commitments, when people come in and share the story and tell patients, this is how I recovered and this is how you can recover too. Every single one of them were alumni of, of the hospital. So that is how we, that's how I knew. I'm like, oh, this is a good place. This is where I feel like I fit in here. So yeah, definitely. If you're wanting to work in recovery too, I urge people to look for things like that as well, because
absolutely, even just as a volunteer.
Yeah, definitely.
You know that's going to help. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, before we go, and I've loved talking to you. This has actually helped me.
I know I could really go on and talk to you for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
I doubt people are going to want to listen to that.
Yeah. Have our own little online meeting. It's helpful to me because every day I'm facing all this stress and anxiety, and I have gone 2 days without speaking to someone else in sobriety and recovery. So this has been a great help for me. I hope it's helped other people too. I'm sure it has, because you're an amazing woman.
So as are
Mike,
you. Thank
you
so much.
So Cheryl and Jani, this is Eric and Mike. Thank you so much for you guys joining us today and having such an amazing conversation that the rest of us could take part in. There were lots of folks in the comments just sort of applauding the both of you and just really thankful that you're having such an interesting conversation and one that needs to be had, right? And so we're happy that Cheryl will be coming back every week to sort of have similar conversations, both around rehab, but also around other sort of health and wellness and medical topics. So thanks so much, Jani, for joining. We really appreciate it. And,
thank you.
And Cheryl, awesome.
Thanks, Jani.
Awesome segment today. We really appreciate it. And Jani, just so you know, our super fans have been putting up links to your guys' stuff within
cool.
the comments, so the folks that are watching will be able to find you easily.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Nope.
Thanks, Mike.
Guys,
You
we
guys have a
appreciate
good
it.
day.
We'll talk with you soon.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
That was nice.
Oh yeah.
How you doing? How you feeling?
Good.
We got some cool stuff going on because up next we have Chauncy Spenser and Niambi Tosh who are going to be coming on.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is going to be another one of those telltale moments. Because... Oh, interesting. Well, let's see what this is all about. We're about to do like a little Zoom upgrade. It was, what's that?
Dude, that's funny. What's up, Randy Bean 699? What you see in the comments the whole time, man?
So,
you was having some real issues, my brother. What was going on?
For the folks that are watching across different platforms, that was a segment that we're going to have every Wednesday called Rehabulous with Nurse Cheryl. Her name is Cheryl Benedetti. And today she had on Jani Nelson from Hotel California by the Sea.
Nice.
That was sort of an Eagles song, like Hotel California. That's what I always, which I know is. Mm-hmm.
What is going on, chat? Why y'all so quiet? Lady V not announcing the winner just yet. Nobody got it. No, somebody got it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, if you say that, then nobody else is going to write anything because then they know.
Nope, you can still keep going. Be more than one. Eric, I'm a big fan. How you a big fan? What you know about me? You don't know nothing about me. You just making stuff up. Randy just making stuff up. What up, Muddy? What you up to, man? Hi, Heather Brown. You still live? Yeah, we still live. Muddy, what you talking about?
Yeah, Andrew, we're
great
actually,
segment,
in a few
Cheryl.
minutes, we're going to be going to Chauncy Spenser and Niambi Tosh.
Who, Mike look good, Randy? Because I know you ain't talking to me. I look like a bum. Full-time job, keeping the kids alive, fed, happy, school, work. What's up? I'm trying to join the family. You sound like you doing good over there, my brother. Put me on. I'm trying to be a Muddy. Eric Muddy. What's up?
Eric Muddy.
I still think the extra surprise you got, Eric Martin, got was a big bag of cannabis flower. Lady
no.
J, you could be close. You could be close. Gotta love the redheads with good hearts. Good segment. That's what Dan said. You know I'm talking to you, Eric. How do I know you talking to me? Who are you? Why you talk? Why you saying my name as if like we've met before? I'm in and out. Haha, Eric. I got some crazy coloring projects for you. Yeah, like the coloring book. That's what you. As long as you got some daddy what was it, Dad's medicine cookies, is that what they was calling them? As long as I can have some of the medicine cookies, not the ones without medicine. I need the ones with extra medicine. Don't be stingy on the medicine. I need some healing.
So Randy on Twitch, coffee milk, if you know what it is it's like chocolate milk, but it's coffee milk. And this is the stuff you
said
use.
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Well, he's watching. He's clearly you can't.
Heather,
you
if
can't.
it is, I did say we. Nope, it's not we. You close, but yet you're so far. Eric Martin, are you artistically inclined? I would say so. I don't do a lot of art, so yes, that's not something that I do every day. Lots of medicine around here. Oh yeah. Gone. That's what I'm saying. I'm finna be a muddy. I'm finna be a part of the family. What's up, Eric Muddy on deck? Eric Muddy. What kind of car we got? So I need the keys sometime. What kind of car you got, Muddy? I need to with the keys. Go to the store sometime. Yeah, Randy Beans 699 is a troll. Heather Brown, can't wait for mine. Love me some Beantown, Greentown. Oh, Andrew, everybody wants some of them medicine cookies you got. Hand me the medicine cookies. Hand me those medicine cookies. For everybody know, I'm studying to be personal trainer. So for all y'all out there want to get y'all butts in shape, just know soon I'll be able to officially charge y'all to get y'all in shape. I can still charge y'all now, but now I'll be able to have the credentials to charge y'all. So anybody out there want to get in some shape, get some muscles like these.
Damn. You're getting big. It's because you're working out every day.
Muscle memory. 15 years of this. 15 years of carving this chocolate. What you talking about? Carved this chocolate for 15 years. You think 2 months of slipping up is finna stop me? Nah. Mold me right back. Are you trading teams? I don't play anymore, Heather. I seen you ask earlier if I was playing for the Patriots. I don't play anymore. I'm retired. Football is not something that I can play anymore. Rayanne, that is a great question. I will do virtual training sessions. Yes. I will be sitting in front of the camera talking to y'all, demonstrating all these nice moves I got. Eric Martin, did you ballet for football training, teach dance? No, I didn't do ballet. I did hot yoga, though, when I was playing. You would do virtual. JT, I know you gonna sign up. You gonna sign up for my virtual training. By the time I'm certified, we'll probably be able to be outside again. Hey Eric, you look like Floyd Mayweather if he was on crack. That was cool, Randy.
Wait, Twitch folks are nice, huh?
I mean, if I look like Floyd Mayweather, shoot, that's kind of cool because he worth almost $1 billion, so I take it. If he was on crack, I mean, Floyd Mayweather doing crack, that's fine. I'll look like him doing crack if I could have his bank account. Definitely. I'll definitely look like him doing crack. But no, I'm fine though, Randy. I don't know what you're talking about, so. Oh, yeah. I got one person, Rayanne says she signed up. What's the training on? What's up, Nathan? Got your attention. The training is gonna be. It's not necessarily like a specific training. It's like it'd be working out to how you want to be trained, how you want to mold your body. Different trainers have different philosophies and stuff. So, my philosophy would be, how hard you willing to work. I'll train you for an hour, but if you want to go a little bit longer, we can add a little bit more. If you want to end with a crazy ab session all the time, that's fine. It's just different trainers. They just have their different philosophies. It's just depend on how you learn it. Jodi Piff, people are crazy. Jodi says people are crazy. Jodi, who you talking about? Who is these peoples? Who is these people so we can talk to them and let them know? Heather Brown, no crack, please, Mr. Chocolate. I would never do tax. Is it on how to collect taxes? Well, my training? Nah, my training on how to collect taxes. Collecting taxes is just natural. That just comes if you if you getting something from me. Gotta pay taxes on it. Randy says, I hate society. Randy, don't be bringing that negative talk here, man. You take your negative self somewhere else. You don't hate society. You just trying to be a troll. Jodi Piff, you a Mayweather. Right, Jodi? He said I look like a cracked out Mayweather. Yo, I look nothing like Mayweather at all. Like, I have like a whole beard. This dude has no beard. It's just a bald head. That's what it. All black people with a bald head look alike when you first glance at them. But then as you like look at them more and more, you start to see the distinct differences. So yeah, yes, black people with bald heads all do look alike. You just got to find the details. Yes, I look like every black bald-headed person. Terry Crews. I've gotten that. I've gotten was Tyrese. He gave me the Tyrese one time. That kind of hyped me up a little bit. I was like, okay, Tyrese, yeah. Tyrese, yeah, I could take that one. I done had Tyrese. Who what else they say I look like? I don't even know who else. I've been called some other people. It'll pop in my head. Somebody said Samuel L. Jackson one time. That was kind of funny. I thought that was real funny. Somebody said I look like I can't even think of his name. He got the lazy eye. He the actor with the lazy eye. I can't think of his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Randy, nobody's answering that. That was a stupid joke. We all know what you finna say. Boo, try again. Boo, that was terrible. Randy, nobody's finna answer that. Randy had a stupid joke. He said, hey, Eric, do you have ligma? Then I'm gonna be like, oh, what's ligma? You gonna say, ligma balls. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Funny. Not funny, Randy. Boo. Try again, buddy. We all know the joke. I love the flex of your silver in your beard. Heather Brown, you gonna stop showering me with these compliments? You trying to butter me all up, throw me on the skillet. You better stop it. Forrest Whitaker, there it is. Yep. Somebody said I look like Forrest Whitaker. That was terrible. That was probably one of the funniest ones next to Samuel L. Jackson. Van Diesel? What? No. Absolutely not.
So, folks, in just a minute, we're going to have Chauncy Spenser on with Niambi Tosh. We were just trying to do a little bit of Zoom. I was just trying to do a little bit of Zoom
Everybody,
stuff.
the
So
chat
this way,
stopped. Oh,
it's bacon, dude. It's bacon. I'm sorry if you could hear me chewing. It's delicious. We had a bacon. We had a breakfast sponsor. Bacon's.
Where you from, Randy? Randy Beans. Oh, well, thank you.
I was just taking a few minutes, folks, because I was trying to get the Zoom account
to
updated.
Me, Heather. Thank you.
So that hopefully Chauncy and Niambi don't have a time limit. But we'll see if Zoom is cooperative. Zoom apparently, when you upgrade, wants to take some amount of time before it kicks in, which is stupid.
Lady J said, I want some medicated bacon.
That would be cool. All right.
Randy said, please don't let them talk. This dude is funny. He was talking mad crap when the last people came on. Stop being a troll.
So awesome. We've got, and don't worry, Chauncy, you're not on live yet, but we've got Chauncy just about ready, and we're just waiting on Niambi. Which, by the way,
I do 17.
Everyone's waiting on me, just in case everyone's wondering why we're running a few minutes late, but we're really...
Yeah, Rebecca, you super late.
Well, some folks are late in the chat, but we're really excited that Chauncy and Niambi are being awesomely patient.
Oh, Heather, you always buttering us up.
And hopefully this Zoom meeting doesn't want to time it. But either way, they should get about 40 minutes. And so as soon as Niambi comes in, we'll cut to them and let them do their thing. Because you folks are totally tired of hearing us.
Feed me stuff.
And for those of you who are watching right now, later on, and hopefully by tomorrow, we'll actually have this clipped out so that
Heather Brown, you right.
Watch it, or you can share it with
Randy
folks.
is mean.
Not make them watch the entire show.
He only mean because he's 17.
Chauncy, you'll probably just want to turn down the stream volume on the when you're watching there.
He only mean because he's 17. He young. He's still stressed right now.
And we are gonna make you the host.
Why, oh why do we do this? Who's still in the comments? Who's still watching? Y'all need to start typing in the comments. Y'all need to be more interactive and hit the like button and stuff. Otherwise...
Yeah, so Ruben's asking in the comments what was the gift that we got, but that's for the contest, and we haven't actually named who won the contest yet.
What was the gift you got?
No, and Ava,
breakfast?
don't... Yes,
okay, Ruben.
Ava, it's on me, Ava.
We are pretty ready for this next segment. How you know you ready? You don't know that. You don't know that. You can't speak for everybody, Ava. I'm be speaking for everybody.
No, I think, but she's probably right. I think everyone really is totally ready.
Maybe by tomorrow my care package will be in the mail. Lady J, don't be making aggressive requests. Your package gonna get there when it get there.
No, Lady J, trust me, we haven't forgotten about you. And Heather Mary Brown as well.
Dan, you're late. You can't be showing up late.
So Dan was on the show yesterday. Remember, he showed us how to squish some flour.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see some concentrates made from some live rosin. So Rebecca coming on actually next is going to be Chauncy Spenser, who's an EE applicant and an entrepreneur out of the Boston area. And his guest is going to be...
You're not a loser, Randy.
Niambi Tosh, who is Peter Tosh's daughter, who I mistakenly said was his granddaughter.
Ava, those sound like threats. Ava, what? Those sound like imminent threats. I am scared for my life, ma'am. For traces, and I know it. Well, obviously I took your package. I have to test it and make sure it tastes up to standard. I also do taxes, but I'm also a taste tester. So there you have both. Eric holding the mic like he about to rap. Sheebity boop da ba doo ba da ba da ba dee bop. Taxes was medicated toilet paper. What? You use medicated toilet paper, Ruben?
And Chauncy, just in case,
trying to get a little CBD in the.
You may have to let her into the room. So if you click on manage attendees,
see, Ruben see was it medicated CBD toilet paper?
But Chauncy, it may be that you need to let her in. I'm not sure if it'll show up for me anymore.
You trying to get a nice little CBD back there? Cool it off, huh? Must have some Taco Bell. I'm pissed I missed the rosin thing yesterday.
Hi,
well,
Niambi.
Rebecca, you got to come in on time.
Hi. If you want to click on join with audio, I think it's in the lower left-hand corner there. It's where the little microphone is. It might say join with computer audio. Awesome. My apologies. I had made Chauncy the host, and I think he didn't realize that he had to let you in. So I just reclaimed host. We'll get Chauncy back in here in just a sec.
Oh, you.
And Niambi, thank you for being so patient.
You still got work?
I appreciate it.
So Ashley, LOL.
I'll share a video for just a second so you can at least see us while we're waiting for Chauncy to come back in.
Randy said vote for Eric 2020.
And then once Chauncy comes back in, we'll pop out and you're not on air right now, by the way. We are.
Heather Brown said
they
Mike
can
is so serious.
They might barely be able to hear you.
Oh yeah, he in a Shark
coming
Tank.
through my mic, but otherwise they can't hear you on air.
He got a little bark too. He do sometimes.
Yeah, you're sounding great. You're sounding great.
Hi Ashley, what you eating for lunch? Okay, Johnny Two Socks showed up. Okay, shout out to Johnny Two Socks. Johnny Two Socks.
Oh, he's back. So Ashley, I have a coffee syrup, but I do not have milk. Go figure.
Oh, that coffee milk. What's a run sandwich? What is that? I know what a sandwich is. Tuna. That's what you were trying to say, tuna? You trying to say tuna and put run. Had an 8-hour.
Hey, Chauncy, go ahead and turn your phone the other way, so this way we'll. Right now, you're turned sideways.
Ooh, 8 hours. You had an 8-hour recertification.
No, can you turn
class
yourself
on Zoom? That's crazy.
There you go. That's great.
You sat in front of a Zoom camera for 8 hours.
And Chauncy, I will. I'm going to make you the host. In case you want to do screen share. And Chauncy, I'll introduce you right now. So I'll let you guys.
Pants?
I'll let you guys take it away.
What are you talking about, Nate? Are you talking about us?
All right. So hey, we got everyone. I think we got everyone. Got everyone rolling now. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mystery makes it fun. Yeah, you funny.
All right, folks. So up next, now we have Chauncy Spenser joining us with Niambi Tosh. We're really excited. This is Chauncy's first segment with us.
Yo.
And we really appreciate the two of them being super patient. We were trying to take care of a Zoom issue.
Let's do it, Chauncy.
So let's go right now over to Chauncy and Niambi, and we'll let them take it away. you guys are live. Welcome and thanks for joining the show. And we'll let you guys go from here.
All right.
You.
How's it going?
Not too bad. Thank you, Disrupt TV, for having us. It's definitely nice to join the station.
Yeah. It took a little time for us to get on, at least on my part. I don't know what was going on your part. I think it was all on me. Dewey was being a little bit gracious and saying that it was on his part, but unfortunately my internet went out, and that seems to be the case here in this COVID world now. Everyone's on the internet. Everyone is I don't know, on their phones, just taking up all the bandwidth. But we're going to get right to it. What we plan to discuss here today was well, actually, maybe possibly I should allow Niambi to introduce yourself. How about we start there? Tell
yes. So my name is Niambi McIntosh, also referred to as Niambi Tosh. My father is the reggae legend Peter Tosh. I am the executive of his estate and brand and founder of the Peter Tosh Foundation. And founder of the Justice for Jawara initiative, which is a connection to initiative launched on behalf of my brother, who was arrested for cannabis possession back in 2013, and then incarcerated due to that possession in 2017, but then attacked by another inmate suffering traumatic brain injuries. And so he's actually not able to do much for himself to this day. And so I share his story with the efforts to push for cannabis legalization federally, as well as criminal justice reform.
That's great work. And myself, I'm a economic empowerment applicant here in Boston, and born and raised here. And I had also been involved with the criminal justice system, and like many of our brothers and sisters here in Boston, in many ways. And I took advantage of the mandate that African Americans and others would be included in the cannabis industry as it rolls out. And so I'm trying to open up a establishment in Mattapan Square called the 420. And so I've been fighting for that, and hopefully we'll be moving through. But on the path to opening up, I had become somewhat of a, became a little aware of some of the problems that the community was having, and its relationship with the city and the state, and with racism, and so there have been a lot of cross sections between cannabis and also the criminal justice system and employment, and all these things were just bubbling up. So I had begun to somehow become somewhat of an advocate in a way for all these things, inclusion for African Americans in the cannabis industry. And so I'm here today because I do see that, well, essentially the recreational industry has been halted, and everyone's life has been halted by COVID. And so there were other issues that or some particular issues in regards to African Americans, particularly African Americans, that I wanted to discuss today. And some of us who have been affected by the war on drugs through incarceration have been given somewhat of a bad rap, and I think they're misunderstood. And what that population looks like, the men, women, and children who have been circulating through the justice system are particularly vulnerable. And I wanted to essentially have that conversation today, and so I want to start. I don't know if I should start with the history of mass incarceration, because I think a lot of folks don't remember, or some folks are very young and don't remember what actually happened to a lot of us, like my age, in my age group, and maybe a little bit older. We grew up during a time when the government would really was targeting us, and cannabis was one of their arguments, to stop cannabis, to beat us down and to arrest the thugs, and they lumped all of us in with other groups like we say criminals, or the bad guys, the ones who were violent, and even that group was misunderstood. And I wanted to open it up and discuss what this group really is and what they're experiencing. And part of what they're experiencing is, or had been experiencing, was a healthcare problem, believe it or not, a mental health care problem. A long time ago, the people, and I say back in the 50s and 60s, there were psychiatric hospitals where people were kept and treated, and they were pretty bad. They weren't up to snuff. There was no treatment really going on in those facilities, and they made an effort to shut them down. But when they began doing that, it was in concurrent with the war on drugs. They ran side by side. So they released a lot of the people who were in these psychiatric hospitals out into the street, and then ramped up the war on drugs and began incarcerating people in the jails. So the jails became essentially the new asylums. And so, you would mix these groups and then have the war on drugs exacerbating the mental health problem, the mental health crisis that is already existed in our community, alongside with the environment that was poisoning the people with lead paint and also with lead in the gasoline, which is known to cause health conditions. And so, the jails essentially have become, like I said, the new asylum, and also the new, running concurrent with the new Jim Crow. And that's how we began ramping up the mass incarceration that we're trying to dismantle these days. Well, they talk about dismantling, and so, a lot of folks may not know that these people were, that these people also experienced poor health, not just through the poisoning, but just generally poor health. People live very, very short. Their lives are short, 10 to 15 years. Just from the stress of being in the street, moving through the justice system, because it's very stressful. They don't have the nutrition, and that just goes along with people being poor in general. But maybe
you also look at the 90s as well as a time where a lot of the programs that were put in place kind of in the early 90s, I believe, ended up being stripped away. It's programs that kind of served young people to give them something to do, like the Red Shirts. I remember the Red Shirts program, and you had young people all over Boston that were, whether they were cleaning up the city or they were doing murals around the city, and that's just one of the programs. But there was this kind of concerted effort to really strip those programs away, leaving young people without anything. And I think that a lot of people don't understand how that affects a population that is kind of in a disadvantaged place, where in affluent communities, your children are going to lacrosse, they're going to karate lessons, they're going to camp that costs $8,000 for a summer, where people within our community are left to kind of be in places that and around individuals that may or may not lead to safe and productive behaviors, and that would happen in any place. Idleness kind of leads to mischief, and so now you have this so many layers that are compounded, leading to this kind of this overpopulated prison system that we have, and And I think that kind of gives us kind of the backdrop to kind of where we are today and some of the issues that we're dealing with. I know that you had mentioned wanting to really have this conversation, consider COVID-19, because now we have mass incarceration that's happened throughout the nation, in America leading in the number number one in the most people incarcerated, and now we have this compounded layer of this illness that is taking our community by storm, and I just read an article the other day that said social distancing is a privilege. Being able to stay home and not have to go to work. When you look at who's on the front lines, of course, there's the nurses and the doctors, but there are people that can't afford to stay home. And that's usually, our community, and a lot of people don't have systems in place, to stay home. Whether you have to go to the food pantry every single day to feed a large family, these are things that just prohibit people in kind of an overpopulated city, right? It's already not overpopulated, but a dense city already. And now you're kind of forced to kind of move around, whether by public transportation, and not necessarily having, understanding of how this illness or this virus is transmitted. And so you get this kind of compounded situation where now it's affecting us. And then, as you mentioned, the health conditions, due to this, lack of education and so many other layers, and the fact that you can go to the dollar menu at McDonald's and eat unhealthy food, but going to Whole Foods, that's something that so many people in our community could never afford. But a gallon of blue juice costs 79 cents. So now you have obesity and heart disease, and asthma, due to the environmental issues that are in Boston. I remember talking to someone from GBH, and they had just did a special on the air quality in Boston, because we're so close to the airport. Our air quality is 10 times worse than what it should be. So there's so many layers, that really contribute to this compounded situation. And I now we look at the population that's in prison, the population that for a majority of them are nonviolent, but now they are in prison, kind of left to, in some cases, just die. So
just imagine
that's definitely something to talk about, and then also look at, like, who is this population? Something that we have to look at,
But even worse is that, well, I shouldn't say worse, but the interesting thing about it is about 95% of the prisoners will be coming back into our community. And that creates the jails as a reservoir for COVID, and we're going to be dealing with this for quite some time. And I hope we're not, and I don't mean to sound alarmist, but I just personally feel as if, we're slowly being acclimated to the knowledge that we're going to be dealing with this for 16 months, a very long time, and if not longer. And so we need to realize that folks are going to be cycling through these situations that are breeding grounds and petri dishes for creating COVID. And you talk about privilege. People in prison have no privilege. They cannot physically distance themselves from anyone, and so they are essentially, they're going to be, jail is a vector for introducing COVID back into our community constantly. And so, and they again are a group of people who do have a lot of health issues, like substance abuse is one of the major issues. I understand that in the state prisons, and I'm looking at the stats over here, like 53% of the federal prisons have a drug dependency problem. And so And 9 times out of 10, that's probably, I shouldn't say 9 times out of 10, but often enough, it's going to be opiates. And so, that's something to think about, because, they will fall victim to this insidious disease. And it's not just that they fall victim to it and say, oh, well, it's just them. But we should realize that people with COVID are potentially able to give that to us and continuously spread it, not just through our community, but throughout the rest of the world, for that matter. This is something that we need to wipe out. But, and also HIV/AIDS, looking at another stat over here, it's very prevalent in that population too, 4 to 5 times higher in inmates. Hepatitis C, 9 times 10 more prevalent in correctional facilities. Tuberculosis, 17 times more prevalent. And these things, they break down the human body. And so, and these are our people. These are our brothers. These are our, we're talking about people who are in juvenile facilities. So I think I'm hopefully able to paint a picture of what the population is, and so there's that with the physical, but then there's also the housing instability that comes with people with quarries. They have job instability, therefore they don't have health care. So that's another thing. It's like where you're talking about a population that doesn't have mental health care, they don't have housing stability, they don't have job prospects. And so that creates another level of social misery in our community. And that adds to our misery, to even on top of the COVID situation, or below the COVID, because I guess the COVID situation is actually existential, right? And so, we need to consider this group as one of the most vulnerable. Yes, there is grandma and grandpa that we need to be concerned with, and other individuals with an immune compromise or compromised immune systems, but also this group too. How do we address this? How do we move forward? And so maybe Niambi, you can add to that. Is there any other ideas to add to that? Because I may have missed something. Or I have a few more actual stats over here I'm looking at. I do have 49% of in state prisons at least have symptoms of mental health disorders. Just to give you an idea of the population that we're dealing with too. Working with this group is going to be very difficult, and we need to have a community type initiative, to a real community type initiative, to remember that these folks are coming back in. And I don't know if you've heard, but or if you've heard, but the DA is going to be releasing folks back into the community, because they are recognizing that this population does not deserve to die in jail, right? So when they come back, what are we going to have available for them? What services are we going to have available? How can we in this age where we have to distance ourselves from them, what are we going to do? What's available for them? What housing is available for this group?
I think that another issue is that we as a society have come to care more about dogs than we do about humans. You can say that a cop shot a dog and there is a uproar around the country. A cop shoots a black man, a black woman, a black teenager, and there has been this history where people don't care. Every day you can Google it. You can Google cop, some violence, and that in regards to people dying at the hands of racism. And it happens every day, and people within this society, that they just don't care. But we have to understand that we're in this country together. And the only way that we're going to be progressive is if we continue to think about those beside other than ourselves. We're shifting with social media towards a more narcissistic type of viewpoint where it's all about, look what I ate, look what I'm doing, but look what I did this morning, but really having to think about how do we instill the value of, being, as my father used to say on stage, is like, we have to get to the point where we're our brother's keeper. Because we are on this planet together, and now even going through this COVID experience, this is something that has united the globe. But we have to think about everybody that's affected by this, and everyone, and understand that people that circulate through the criminal justice system, we call them prisoners, we call them convicts, we call them felons, but that those are words only used to kind of create some sort of divide amongst us, but these are people's fathers, these are people's mothers, people's sons, people's daughters, and once you take those individuals out of society, you disrupt a community, and unfortunately those communities are people that are populated by black and brown individuals. And so there has to be definitely just language has to change in the way that we talk about these people, because once you hear convict, you're like, oh, has nothing to do with me. I was privileged for a really long time, not really having a lot of family members that had gone through the criminal justice system. And it wasn't until my experience with my brother. I remember it was Father's Day weekend, and I got a call where he was like, hey, I got arrested. I'm in New Jersey. And because he's actually never been in the criminal justice system prior to that, I was like, all right, this will go away. But there are many places within this country where they have antiquated criminal justice system, and they're really out to just, it's a prison economy, so to speak. And so it wasn't until September where he actually had his hearing. Here in Massachusetts, you're arrested on a Friday. The longest, you'll wait is a few days before a hearing. He was in there for months before just having a hearing. And so we get to the hearing only to hear that the prosecution was offering him 20 years in prison as a plea offer. And so we were like, oh, wow, this isn't something that's just going to go away. This is serious. He stayed incarcerated until for another 3 months. So he was in there for a total of about 6 months. And this is Hackensack, Bergen County Jail. So this is not, it's not a prison. This is all pretrial stuff. So he made bail. And then for about, 3 years, he was going back and forth to New Jersey for pretrial motions. First, they were like, hey, 20 years, 15 years, this is going to be your best offer. You better take it. Then they go down to 10. It's like, you know what, you better, they're going to make an example of you, Jawara. This is something that you need to take. And constantly, he's an advocate. He's a follower of Rastafari, as my family is. We believe in the medicine and the power of the plant. And he had to continuously battle internally about, like, do I sacrifice, do I fight for what I believe in through this process, or do I consider, or do I risk sacrificing myself and taking myself away from my family for years? And so when it was 2016 in December, where he said, you know what, I think the plea deal got down to about 5 years. And he was expecting that the judge will say, you know what, you do a year and we'll let you out. And so the way it works is that you accept the plea of 5 years. And then I think maybe 6 months or so later, you go before a judge to, like, either say that, okay, you got to do the 5 years, or, you've done time served and you can be released, or the judge pretty much dictates your official sentence. So he turned himself in January of 2017. And now he's not a violent person at all. He actually, he's a musician by trade. Actually went to I went to Wentworth Institute of Technology, and he went to Northeastern University right next door as an economics major, but then pursued music for years. And he was a musician and an advocate for cannabis legalization at the same time. And after being incarcerated for a month and a half, he was attacked by another inmate. Someone that, when we looked them up, dealing with their own psychological and mental health issues, but suffered a traumatic brain injury. And I remember when we got the call that he was hurt, it was my mom who called me frantic, saying that there's a doctor on the phone saying that we need to perform a life-saving procedure on my brother. And we authorized it, but then immediately flew to the hospital in New Jersey, only be told, like, oh, we don't actually allow visitors. So here my brother is fighting for his life, and we have the CEOs and the sheriff saying that, this is our policy. We don't allow visitors, even though your loved one was hurt and attacked in our facility. This is the policy that stands. We continue to advocate for and push. And I think, and I know that it was our father's name that allowed those rules to be bent a little bit, but we were able to go in and support my brother in the ICU, to see him handcuffed to a bed, tubes down his throat, surrounded by police like he was a threat to society. But this is the policy. And so I was so grateful that we had the power to support my brother, but these are the conditions that families go through, through the criminal justice system. And there has to be a point when prison actually serves its purpose. It's supposed to reform individuals, not, throw them away to suffer. People that do crime often are dealing with their own mental health issues. And you look at, it's only privilege that changes what that looks like. It's only money that changes what people with mental health issues, what happens to individuals like that. So if you're poor, you end up cycling through, the criminal justice system. But if you're affluent, you will get, you go to therapy, you get mental health support, whatever issues that you're dealing with, you get, support, layers of support to kind of bring you out of, those dark places that could lead to the situations that our population faces. And so I share that story to really humanize the individuals that are in there. No family really should have to go through that. And then you think about the cost of a phone call. Why are we charging already poor families? It's like, I forget it's like $1 a minute. It's something ridiculous.
Probably more than that. It's like $5 for the first minute.
Yeah, it's something. I don't even remember what it was, but like I said, again, we were in a position where we made the sacrifice, to do that. But so many other families don't have that, and they build up these bills, and then you're released back into society. You have all this debt after serving all this time, and these are humans. These are human. These are families. And if we want to change this country, and really have an impact on raising the bar for what we consider to be American, there's certain things that just shouldn't happen, point blank, period. And so, I think about people that are incarcerated now. There was a video that circulated. I have a good relationship with the Last Prisoner Project, and they are actively, they're a nonprofit run by Steve D'Angelo, and they're actively trying to release all cannabis prisoners, because they're nonviolent offenders, and you have people that are in prison. You know, prisons are being locked down where you have to stay in your cell, but you can be locked in lockdown with someone who is actively showing symptoms of COVID-19, you know, coughing, not being able to take care of themselves, and you can be in healthy condition, but you're left to stay in a cell with this individual, now compromising your own health and well-being. And so it's good to hear. I actually didn't know that the DEA was saying that they were going to start to release these individuals. I think that's actually, you know, it shows that some measures are being made. It's definitely baby steps in the scope of things. But when you think about like what needs to be done, I'm very much for revamping the whole criminal justice system. And my background, actually, I taught in Boston public schools for 10 years. And I was a special educator. And so I dealt with a population of young people that, you know, anytime we had what society may call a bad kid, when you heard that child's story, there was a reason, you know, and then these children who are 15, 16, 17, they don't have enough time to change those behaviors by the time they're considered an adult. And now they're 18 and they're straight into the criminal justice system. You know, I've had students that, you know, that were dealing with alcoholism at home, people who had violent homes. I've had students that were homeless. I've had students that just dealt with so many issues, and then poverty just exasperates the issue. It's beyond measure. So now you're homeless, but you know, you're dealing with so many other things. People that have had extremely traumatic experiences. By the age of 15. And if you look at all of Boston children, every time a young person dies, there's so many young people that are affected by that. When you go to school in Wellesley, you don't have a classmate that's shot and dead. You know what I mean? You go, you walk around campus. I went to Dana Hall for a year. You know, you go to the pond, you go to your science building. Your conversations have, you know, don't even reach, you know, the point. The most they can complain about, and obviously this is a stereo. I'm not meant to generalize, but we're not supposed to have to deal with the things that we deal with in society. And so until we recognize that urban PTSD is a thing, and it really affects everyone that lives in the city. You know what I mean? So when you said 45% of people are dealing with mental health issues, everyone in prison is dealing with mental health issues. 100% of people in prison are dealing with mental health issues. And so that's something.
If you're not dealing with a mental health issue in prison, then there's something probably wrong with you.
Yeah, and it doesn't exist. It does not exist. There's no way you can be in prison and not be dealing with some level of PTSD from whether just being there already. I remember my brother was saying that he was incarcerated with a 17-year-old who was arrested for about an ounce of weed and couldn't make $150 bail. So here he is, a child in my eyes, but he's incarcerated with grown men. He's incarcerated the same man that, you know, attacked my brother. And these grown men, I'm like, why is this a direction that we put our young people in? And most people that get introduced into the criminal justice system, they start really young. You know, it's something that ends up kind of following them from a really young age because they didn't have the love and support and the nurturing that some other more affluent young people get.
I would say that they were targeted, you know, and growing up in where I'm from, you know, which is from Dorchester, we were targeted. And so I remember the first time that they had grabbed me up to search my pockets and see what I was doing. I was 14 years old. And so, you know, and it never stopped ever since then. I grew to, I was 6'1" at 14. So, I just became immediately that summer target, and they harassed. And then growing up in an area I grew up in, on a a block, a weed block. People sold open air, sold marijuana. So I did see that, and they were young men. They seemed so much older when back then, but
Yeah.
they were young. They were 17, 18 years old. And to see the level of violence that was waged against them by law enforcement, just the just massive gunplay. It looked like the old shows of cops. Where they were the cowboys and they were just wilding out. Just wilding out. But yeah, you talk about the PTSD that left me with some significant amount. Where even to this day, when I drive, I'm always looking in my rearview mirror, not knowing whether or not a police officer is going to pull me over. Even although I aged out of that group that they may harass to that degree, it's still a concern. And the police also pulls me over for whatever the case may be. My heart's racing.
Yeah.
And so there I know that it still exists, and I have worked my best to come to terms with that and come to terms with the violence that that was subjected upon me. Even like I was shot, as a teen. I had been arrested. I had been through, had to go dealing with the plea bargain mills that was Dorchester Court, where I would see, piss poor attorneys, trying to force young boys to take plea bargains because they just wasn't going to fight their case, because the way in which the criminal justice system wheels turn is to get plea bargains. 97% or 93 to 97% of cases are resolved through the plea bargain system. And so, and they always say that if it didn't, it could collapse. If these are all, vast majority of these are non-offenders, it brings the question, like, what are they really trying to do? And we know that the whole criminal justice system is a vestige of the Jim Crow, so it's a sad case. And so when we're talking about, taking back to COVID and how we want to see the criminal justice system look going forward, these are very important conversations. And I also want to throw in the fact that, you have the LGBTQ community or the individuals, young folks who are pushed out into the streets, because of their orientation and their parents, inability to deal with that. They're going to be also another group that is that's going to have to deal with these issues too. And so, there's so many groups. But how are we going to deal with the powers that be? How are we going to make them make change? And recognize and help them recognize that this is something that needs to happen. And we can't go back to business as usual, because they are trying. They're trying their best to push people back out and they make them work, in a month, and to totally forget that there's a paradigm shift here happening. And I don't know if they're doing that to weed us out. I don't know. It's just very strange. So,
yeah, no, there are, there's been just a lot of criticism on how we handled this as a country. The fact that not everyone is being tested. So nobody knows, like, do I got it? I don't know. I could have it, maybe not. Maybe I have it, maybe I don't. And there have been, other countries that have handled this well. Our numbers are ridiculous. You know what I mean? To be a first world country, the way that we're handling this just is not effective. If you look at something as simple as like just the way the grocery stores operate, you can go to 3 different grocery stores and they have different systems in place about how they're handling this. That should be a federal mandate. The government should say, if you're going to remain open, if you are an essential business, this is the system that you have in place. I remember going to Whole Foods and I saw, someone spraying the carts off, as before I walk in and after every customer, and they were spraying them off entirely. But then I went to Target, and someone, you just had the option to wipe off your cart. Then I went to Trader Joe's, and someone would pass you a wipe, and I watched the guy in front of me say no thank you to the wipe, and then grab the shopping cart. So it's like, if you're going to be a business, those are the simple things that should have come from a federal mandate. This is the system in place before you reopen your doors. Stay closed for however long you need to stay closed, to put the system in place that protects the society, and have whether you're passing out masks to every user. There was a video that circulated, and I never really trust the accuracy of video that's kind of you see once or whatever. But some guy was being dragged off of the train, and they were like, this guy refused to put a mask on, and I'm just like, it should have just been kind of, you hand out masks when you get on the bus. Why not? That people are judging individuals that they don't see with masks on, but maybe they don't have a mask. And so I think that there's just certain things that really should have come from the leadership, and based off of just science. You know what I mean? But seems like it's too of a far-fetched thing to expect, and that's why we have the numbers that we have. There was a country I just recently read, and I don't want to get it wrong, so I was gonna check. Which country was it? There are about 5 countries that handled this extremely well.
Taiwan, possibly?
I know that there was, there was Iceland, there was Taiwan, Norway, but they handle it so well that they were able to kind of keep school open, just by putting things in place that allow people to just have safe practices. And so I find that fascinating that they didn't really have to have all of these bans. Now they're a smaller country, of course, so it makes it a little bit easier. But when you have leadership that mandates every type of business a certain way, then you limit, this is how the MBTA should run. No train should, the trains were, being pushed through New York, overpopulated, stuffed to capacity.
But these countries, often these countries don't have a caste system in place that they have to maintain, and so we have, in my opinion, that's exactly what we do have here. And so the country has spent a good amount of time and energy trying to maintain that underclass. And I'm not saying that it's something that is necessarily active. It may just be the vestige of old policies that we refuse to dismantle. Right. It is in place, and it is, that systemic racism is in place, and there are, we don't have a nanny state. We have an actual aggressive capitalist system that, is dog eat dog. So, I like those countries like New Zealand or Taiwan, they really, I'm not gonna say I don't live there, but from what I understand, that they do take care of their citizens, and they have functional democracies. Mm-hmm. We don't have that. We see where you read the newspaper, you're reading about the end of American democracy, as so we have to locally demand certain things, and I was disappointed because I had seen this coming since January, and if I saw it coming, then why didn't our leadership see it coming? And I think that they did, is that they just didn't care. They didn't care. They were too busy dumping stocks and getting their own mask. Because I told my friends, I have a good friend, Goldie Piff, I told her, we were talking about this together since January, which
Hey,
always
Goldstein, we love you.
we were talking about this since January. We were just like, watching this all happen like a slow moving train wreck, and I said, go get your mask. And don't you know, by that time, and this is in January, the masks were already gone.
Yep.
You figured that one out.
Yeah.
Figure that.
Yeah.
Them, so,
no, it's definitely a layer. I don't think it's about. I'm far beyond the point of asking leadership for anything. I think that we have to, as citizens of this country, become more socially involved, and community involved. And so the things that we want to see happen, we have to be supporting the nonprofit organizations and be supporting, making the time to give our time to support those programs that are actually helping the problem, because it's not going to be the government that does it. And I think, we end up being individuals that can constantly complain and look for what's wrong, but I don't see those things changing anytime soon. I think history has kind of spoken for itself. And so you turn back to history, and if certain things, wrongs of the past, from slavery to to oppression and racism, haven't been addressed, then you're going to continue to see just injustice within, and a lack of equity within every aspect of society, from the healthcare system to the education system, to employment, to leadership, and to just corporations and how they operate in general. And so we have to kind of, take our community of people and pool our resources, and then create the support systems that we need. I want to give a shout out to Monica, who, and I forget her last name, but we went to high school together. And so I'll see if I could pull it up. But she pretty much, she was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to a couple of restaurants and feed these children from Boston Public Schools. And to this day, since the COVID-19, she helped kind of feed about 20,000 students, and I think that's remarkable. But that takes the work of someone saying, I'm tired of complaining about the problem. I want to be a part of the solution. Who can I reach out to? Who's going to support me in these efforts? And you'll be surprised that when we start to ask, members of the community, you'll find that people are like, wow, this is a great idea. I would love to help. And that's the way that I think that solutions are going to happen. And
I think her name is Monica Cannon Grant.
Yes,
I think
Cannon Grant. Yes.
She works with Donald Singleton, which is my best friend.
Yeah, she I actually taught her daughter. Yeah, I taught her daughter in New Mission High School. And she was a bulldog for her children. She did not play. She did not play. She advocated, and it was really cool to see, because in middle school, she had the biggest voice. She had the biggest personality in middle school, and to see how she's just grown and really used that voice on a path of, righteousness and really giving back to our community. I always tip my hat to that, but it's work like that it takes. I think that we get so comfortable in our own lives, and yes, we all have our own problems. We're all dealing with a lot, but we have to be we have to create the solutions for our problems. We were, involuntarily brought here as, we look at, in history, we're involuntarily brought here, and then they didn't want to, abolish slavery, but they did for economic reasons. And, and though that still is the environment, the KKK is an organization that still exists, it and isn't considered extreme terrorist group. But then when you have Black Lives Matter start, then they're put on the members, they're extreme extremists, So you gotta look at little things like that tell you that you're not going to you're not going to find your answers in the leaders of this country. And I do think that there has been a small shift where you're getting more brown faces into politics. You're getting more women into politics, and there are people that are trying to move the needle. And we should definitely support those individuals when we can. But a two-party system just makes absolutely no sense. You know what I mean? You got to be either A or B, and that's the ideology. Those are the only ideologies that exist within this country. So that I think that it's time for us to think outside of the box, be the creators of our own destiny. If we want to support these individuals, we have to remember them, for one, because they're taken because our prison population is taken out of society, oftentimes, out of sight, out of mind. And so we have to think about reaching out to the programs. There are a lot of nonprofit programs, organizations that are really supporting individuals with transitional housing and giving them programs. And Massachusetts actually has a lot of programs, that help provide housing and things of that nature, and job training. And so, but our mental health support gets an F plus. You gotta literally you gotta have jumped out of a moving car window before you can get some support. And that, I think, is where we gotta think differently about how to support our people within our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need the infrastructure.
Exactly.
And part of that infrastructure will unfortunately have to be, psychiatric institutions that will help these groups, because they tore them down. They removed them a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And human beings cannot be treated the way in which they're treated now. From what I saw, in my time in there, they were beat, and they were handcuffed and maced and tied up and
right.
And so, no, that's no way. But you can't, not necessarily, I don't know. I can't say that having them out there untreated is the best way. Of course it's not. We know it's not. And so how much does that cost? It costs a lot of money. It does cost a lot of money, but we got money for bombs. We got money for aircraft carriers. We got money to give tax breaks to the wealthy. We got all this other money. We need to invest and demand that these groups get the proper treatment that they deserve. And it only adds to our happiness to have these individuals get their needs met. So instead of us trying to chase bourgeois dreams and move out of the communities that are most affected by it, because that's what we do have. Is like, even with our Black and brown leadership, that's their aspirational goals, is to help us get more money to move out, to move up, and not address the most vulnerable people. And that is the reason why I feel as if these things go unheard for so long. Where I just want to make sure that we don't replace leadership that does not look like us, and it's still not they still not reflect our values, and so that I do want you to emphasize.
No, definitely. Definitely.
But before we wrap it up, because I don't even know, I have no timer here to know how long we've been going. Let me see here.
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do know that someone I've been chasing down, it deals with these, works with these issues. Her name's Andrea James. She works with formerly incarcerated women, and they're doing something tomorrow. She posted something on her Twitter feed about hosting an event tomorrow with a few professionals that will be addressing these similar issues, and I guess they have their own recommendations on how they intend to address it locally. And I think that's critical. Because I'm not the the professional that deals with this on a day-to-day basis. It's just what I've seen, and it's important to me because it affected me, and I am probably one. You can even say I'm one with one of the psychological scars of the war on drugs and how it's been overlooked. So I got to scream and say that these people are going to be affected in this way, but they're professionals who deal with this every single day, who have the solutions, and they could probably pull them off the shelf. They've probably been screaming it for so long. They're going to be hosting up a Zoom meeting tomorrow, and I'll post a link when I find it, and I'll probably put it on my page, and I'll put it up on Disrupt America if Dube allows me to, or I can pin it to this video when I do share it. And hopefully folks will tune in and listen to some of the professionals speak about these particular issues, because I thought I was the only person in the world concerned with this, but to come to find out there's a whole community of advocates who've been fighting for this for so long. And I've only been made aware of it very recently. It warms my heart and makes me feel encouraged to think that going through this paradigm shift that I believe we will be going through, that this will be part of the message that will be carried forward. And I can't stress the importance of folks who have not dealt with this community, and has had a hands-off approach to dealing with folks who have quarries or have been impacted by war on drugs, who have mental illness. I just want you all to understand that they are human beings, like myself and like others in your family. They are human beings, and they do need the proper treatment and support to make this country and our community better, much better place.
Right. I would definitely add to that. I'm the founder of the Peter Tosh Foundation, and the Justice for Jawara initiative is really looking at partnering with different organizations to push for criminal justice reform, and to really help support different advocacy partners to really have an impact with this population and the families that are affected by the criminal justice system. And so even if you're not an individual that's going to jump out on the front lines and go speak in the prisons and really create these systems of support for these individuals, take some time to donate to a nonprofit that is. We all can give a little, whether it's $5, $10, $100. We look at our budget for our daily Dunkin' Donuts coffee, or the little privileges that we are able to have. Let's as a society, put our money where our values are, and really try to support the organizations that are doing this work that is needed for our entire society to be uplifted. Because it's not, a Black person's problem. It's not, a white person's problem. It's our society's problem. And until we understand, and just to reiterate what my father said, that we are our brother's keeper, we'll never be able to grow holistically. We have to all look at, supporting outside of our own personal needs, and really, just donating to the nonprofits that do the work on a consistent basis, because they need it in order to sustain their programs. They don't need the one-time donation. They need the commitment. Subscribe the same way we subscribe to about a gazillion apps for $5 a month here or $29 a month there. Take some time to actually subscribe to a nonprofit. Be that consistent donor, even if it's $1 a month. You can go to sleep at night knowing that you're chipping away at some of the work that needs to be done in this country. So
Yeah, and I would say add to that also that a lot of folks who follow me and follow Disrupt are cannabis advocates and cannabis advocates and also entrepreneurs, and they are looking for organizations to give to. Sorry,
we lost you. We're back.
I'm gonna hold this daggone thing. And they're looking for organizations to give to. And I would add one of those groups to just search, do a quick Google search and look for a group to subscribe to that deals with these issues, that deals with this population, whether it be homelessness or, youth homelessness or mental health treatment for folks experiencing homelessness. And, consider adding that to your impact plan, because when you give to other groups, where I've seen in some of you guys' impact plans, I've seen you given to the police station or whatnot. I would just say you might want to add to that, but maybe put some stipulations on that or something along those lines. But add this particular vulnerable group to your or these vulnerable groups to your impact plans and consider them.
And if you want to help minimize the problem, start with the younger generation. Start with programs that support youth. Summer programs are huge. Way to deter people from violence. Sports programs are huge. Giving young people outlets. Unfortunately, Boston public schools are cutting back on, arts programs and things of that nature. And so, start donating in those areas as well, so that you give young people the outlets that they need, so that they have, they're less likely to turn to areas that don't serve them and end up in the criminal justice system. So there's a lot of areas in which we can give, and you can choose the ones that kind of match your interests. But I push you to choose a little bit outside of that, because people tend to overlook the prison population just because of the stigma that's attached to just a word like felon. Like, oh, felon's gonna come be your Uber driver. You're like, ooh, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That is just the mental connection that we make,
we're out there, we're driving you anyway.
Exactly. So understand that we're all human, and that we all need to do our part. The Peter Tosh Foundation is an organization that I would push for people to donate to as well, just because we are helping to support those initiatives that really help make change and impact. So I guess that's all I have.
Wonderful. You've been great. Thank you for showing up and helping me host. So we're going to sign off now. And again, I'll post a link to some of the other groups that are working in this space. And I hope you guys consider, I want you guys to be safe, wash your hands and wash your friends' hands, wash your children's hands, and, be well, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Niambi, and thank you, Chauncy. We really appreciate it.
You guys have a great one.
Thank you.
So that was Niambi and Chauncy.
That was
that was amazing. The folks in the comments were going. There was a lot of activity in the comments.
Sound like you got something in your throat.
Ooh, some breakfast. So still some breakfast. So just so Niambi knows, we had some of her links, including the Peter Tosh Foundation website link, pinned to the top of the comments. That was awesome, and we actually had a lot of folks posting and sharing while that conversation was going to get people to join in, and we could actually see the surge of it going. So that was really exciting. This has been our longest show
we
ever.
Definitely surpassed. We definitely broke.
It was so exciting,
broke
and
some records today.
Niambi, I think I can. Niambi, we can still see you. Chauncy, I think, took off, or I don't know what happened. He's out of here. But Niambi, thank you so much for such an awesome conversation. I know the folks out there really loved it.
I enjoy doing it, and I think that this is the work. So I thank you guys for giving us the platform to have it. So
yeah, and we're excited for Chauncy to start doing this every week, and hopefully start bringing on awesome guests like yourself all the time. I think you were his first guest for this, awesome. and so what an amazing guest for him to have on as like his inaugural broadcast. So thank you so much.
Somebody in the comments said,
thank you guys.
All right. Tosh for the
and Niambi. So there's actually, I'm at an age where this made me kind of sad, but there's definitely folks out in the audience who hadn't heard of your father. And because of this interview, there's actually people in the comments now saying that they're like listening to your dad's music as they're listening to this interview. So that was really cool.
Oh, that is very cool. Very, very cool. That's awesome.
Thanks again so much, and we really appreciate you joining us. And we hope to have you back again sometime.
Definitely, anytime. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
We just hijacked Chauncy's guest there right at the end for a second.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so. Oh, is Superfan Scott back?
Too hot. He always posting my IG.
I think Scott took a little break for a little while.
I'm sure Scott did take a break. He was tired.
Oh no! What a marathon show! Thank you everyone for hanging out with us today. So by the way,
the winner.
Yeah, you got the You want to bring up the music because it's become a thing. It's become a thing now, right? How we can demonetize our Lady J. We're about to. You want to bring it up on mine? Bring it up.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Ava, I totally agree. Chauncy's first segment was amazing. Now's the time when Eric picks the winner. Now he will pick the one if he remembers. Johnny Two Socks, shout out to you. On Twitch, you stuck around for the whole show now. And we got Rebecca too. Scott, hot pizzas.
And the winner is. She already knew it.
Wait, who? Who is she? Wait, who? Who won?
Lady V won.
Lady J won?
Oh, I keep saying V. Why do I keep
It's because her last name begins with V.
Lady J.
Lady J. So
these were the gifts.
wait a second.
Wait a second. I thought it was just me.
I thought it was
specifically for you know who.
Wait, what? They're for you, right?
Yeah. This is because we raised so much money last time that we decided, hey, why not get a fresh batch and actually have them eat an egg instead of just drink the juice.
So y'all decided you'd spend $3.25.
Shout out to Kevin for hooking us up.
Really? Oh, Kevin.
Hooking us up with a fresh batch of eggs. I will be eating one now.
Yeah?
Mike don't have to join in.
No, I'm not gonna.
When he does it, it's for money. When I do it, it's for y'all entertainment.
No, there's no way I could even eat one right now. I have like.
He's gonna gag.
Nah. Yeah, I might even gag right now. I might gag right now.
And it always spills out every time.
Oh, it's like right up to the top. It's like. I gotta keep those fumes going that way. This is just nasty.
In the air.
No, well, Lady J, yeah.
The show's coming to the end.
Like, I know it's just my imagination, but I can see the smell.
We love air.
No, not we. No, don't do that. Oh, really? That was on purpose. Come on. And it's on my keyboard now, too. And
it fell in the crack.
Oh, no. And it's, yeah. And this thing's going to not even work. I bought this keyboard because I spilt something on the other keyboard already.
Oh,
no.
We spilled some. Now you guys are entertained for the day.
Nah, I have like one hand now. Like, I don't know. I don't want. I can't hold the mic with this hand because it's gonna be
just you. The show.
Wait, no. Wait a second. Give me a second. It's so not cool.
Seriously. Oh shit. Mike got a hand full.
It's all over my hand. It's all over my keyboard.
I swear I didn't do that. I set it down, and it fell in this little crack thing, and it just...
Oh, no. I had such a lovely breakfast, too. It's like there's like a pickle. There's like a pickled egg skin on my foreman on my hand.
Yo, look at y'all. Gotta thank Mike. I mean, y'all gotta thank Kevin. Shout out to Kevin.
PTSD. It stinks. It's not even PTSD. It's like
Shout
literal smell.
Shout out to the show.
PTSD.
Wait, what was the words? Y'all gotta tell me the words to the end of the show. I forgot.
Rebecca knows.
What was the end of the show? I haven't been watching.
You do it. You are the end of the show.
Exactly, Christelle. That's why it wasn't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, this wasn't.
Last time I saw something like that, I paid a quarter and walked.
We didn't know eggs were coming today. I didn't even know eggs were here the whole time. I should have felt it. I should have felt their presence.
Shout out to Kevin.
There's something weird going on in here.
It's not even
I don't know what it is
to see it.
Yeah, it's. We're gonna have to do a GoFundMe for a new keyboard. Because you don't even understand.
What's the ending of the show?
Where's Rebecca? Oh.
That smell gonna stick. Like
you see if you weren't such a huge dude, I'd give you a dirty pickled egg Sanchez with my hand right now. I'd wipe it on your mustache a little bit real quick before you could do anything, and then you'd smell it. But
I got it on me.
Yeah, no, but also
actually it's still on my pants.
I am not doing that.
I got it all on me.
Yeah, it stinks.
I forgot the words to the end of the show.
It's
we coming to the end of the show, and Mike smelled like pickled egg juice.
My hand smells like two Wookiees
had
it's sex
time
in
to go
porta potty.
He needs to take a shower and get that smell off.
I knew I needed to wear gloves for this show.
But we love y'all, and this is the end of the show.